All rise. No, I'm kidding. It's not up yet. Alright, everyone, welcome to the room. Welcome. Twitch chat, there we go. Alright, everybody. So if you don't know what's going on, today's the day. Today's the day marijuana gets legalized, hopefully, and it gets rescheduled. Legalized everywhere, in every state, in America, and it gets rescheduled so it can be researched more. This is going to be exciting. I cannot wait. I have been waiting for this for ages, and you all are going to see it. So, yeah, let's get into this. Let's watch the whole court proceeding and see what is all happening. Hopefully, my investments go up in the process. But yeah, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna hope it goes well. I'm keeping an eye on my investments like a hawk. I'm not joking. I really hope that they legalize marijuana. If my investments go down, then that means they didn't, which would be really bad. But so far, it's just minuscule amounts I'm getting. I'm not even getting that high up in the, like, daily today. So I'm guessing something bad happened.
Good morning. Please be seated. Okay, we're on the record. Good morning to everybody.
Morning, Honor.
All right. I've got some homework to attend to first, so if everyone could just be patient. These hearing proceedings are being conducted in connection with a notice of proposed rulemaking published in the Federal Register by the Attorney General on May 21st, 2024, and a general notice of hearing signed by the DEA Administrator, also published in the Federal Register, on August 29th, 2024.
Whoa, this dude does not know how to use a
The
mic.
proposed rule seeks the rescheduling of marijuana, and the hearing docket is 24-4.
Now, let me do an example of this real quick. So we're gonna use our mic like this, and we're gonna do this exactly. We're just gonna annoy the living shit out of you. Yeah, sorry about that. That's what he's doing, okay? It's annoying as shit.
44. Today's date is December 2nd.
He's not even that far from the mic. How is it that loud?
2024. And I'm Judge Mulrooney. I'm the Chief Judge of the Drug Enforcement Administration.
I'm sorry. I can't.
These are formal rulemaking
I shouldn't make fun of the judge, but at the same time, I'm literally smoking in the courtroom, so you know what?
proceedings being conducted in accordance with the Administrative Procedure Act and the Controlled Substances Act. And this hearing is being conducted.
Oh my God. No, hold on, we gotta go back. Look at this woman, man. She does not want to deal with this shit. Like, come on. You're legalizing marijuana. After this, if it's legalized, you could go smoke after work. Like,
Procedure Act and the Controlled Substances Act.
it's gonna
And this
be
hearing
chill,
is
I
being conducted
promise.
at the Drug Enforcement Administration hearing facility.
You don't
in
need to be
Arlington,
that upset
Virginia.
at your job.
This is a preliminary hearing being conducted in accordance with Section 131654 of the DEA regulations. And the purpose of the hearing is to address logistics, flesh out any evidentiary or procedural issues that may impact the orderly process of the case. I need to do some level of
Whoever's shaking the fucking camera, I swear to God, you do not know how to use the camera. Get fired. Have someone more experienced handle the camera. Thank you.
explaining, which means to everybody that I'll be talking more this time than I'll be talking in the future. The rest of the time,
No Dude. I was gonna say, no shit you're gonna be talking. This is a 2-hour live stream. Oh my god, but this girl, she cannot. She does not want to be here. Just get her out of the courtroom.
Is going to come from the witness stand.
It doesn't
Alright,
look like
what
she's
we're gonna
doing
do is
anything
the
anyway.
Counsel or the representative for each party be called up one at a time, the government first.
Other than looking at papers.
And you can put your notice of appearance on the record. And for those of you who've never done it before, I've got a little help sheet on the podium. What we'll do is we'll work our way from the government through the supporters of the NPRM, and then we'll go through those counsel who oppose the NPRM. Okay, when you come to the podium, and when you make any objection for the whole duration of these proceedings, however long it takes, please state the party you're representing so that we can know who's objecting to what, and the court reporter can get it all down. Can be a bit arduous, I know, but we need to know who's objecting to what. We need to know who's talking.
Okay.
We'll get used to it.
How long's this intro, buddy? How long's this intro before you actually get someone up to the podium? Okay. Like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, almost 17. Jesus fucking Christ.
The representatives will stand, and they're examining the witness, making argument, or addressing me. Because there are so many participants, when you do those things, as I said, make sure you state your party.
Alright, let's get through the intro, everyone. I know this is going to be arduous, but we can't just go right into the witness. We have to learn what they're going to do.
During the proceedings, as I talk to each one of you, there's some additional things that I need, and I'm going to give everybody a homework date. There isn't much homework.
Is this fucking school? This is life! What the fuck?
The homework date is going to be December 13th, 2024. If I tell you that something's due on the homework date, that's when it's going to be due. Once I set the hearing schedule, and every hearing day will start promptly at 9:30, and will go till 5 p.m. There'll be an hour break for lunch, probably a short break in the morning,
Of course. Are we gonna have recess too?
another one in the afternoon, such other convenience breaks as may become appropriate. I'm not getting any younger. And the courtroom will be open during any breaks, but it will be guarded. So if you want to leave your stuff here, that's fine. There's also 2 council rooms outside that are available for everybody. There's restrooms outside as well.
Those guards aren't gonna know what was left behind 24/7. So it doesn't matter. Unless they are watching at that time. Those guards are useless.
All right, we're going to conduct the merits proceeding from Tuesday through Thursday, every week for as long as it takes, and we're going to start in either early or mid-January, probably mid-January. If any of that needs to change, I'll make sure that you get lots of notice to adjust. Now, every party may have its representative here for every hearing, but you are required to be present on the day you're scheduled to call your witness. If you're not present on the day you're scheduled, you may forfeit the right to present your evidence. Likewise, on any day you are not here, you may, and probably will, forfeit any right you have to cross-examine the witness on the stand. So in other words, you may choose when you wish to be here. My hearing has to keep going, though. This includes the government.
This includes
and
the
by the way, what
government.
we've done is I've taken all your availability dates and I've tried to work with them. Obviously, that's
Oh, really? You tried to be available at my time? Oh, how nice. Thank you, Your Honor.
a tougher call for the government, but we'll have you up at the podium momentarily, and we'll talk about what we're going to do. The seats in the front of the bar are generally reserved for attorneys, but any party representing a witness who's going to put on a witness will have the benefit of the counsel table, and that's where I want you to be.
Ooh, we gonna get to the table already? Okay.
Now, all representatives must be present when your witness is going on. But in reading all the papers, there's people coming from different places. So if you make an application to put on VTC testimony anytime before the homework date, I'll accommodate that. The courtroom is a state-of-the-art courtroom. It has
Oh, so if I get behind on homework, like it's an IEP or something, you'll let me turn it in? How nice. Very generous, Your Honor.
good VTC ability. There's too much going on for us to have lawyers examining witnesses, everybody on the TV screen like Rowan and Martin's laughing. So we're not going to do that. If you've got a witness, you've got to be here. And if you're not here and there isn't some good cause, well, then we're going to move on to the next witness.
If you want to make a judge laugh, I'm not joking on this. If you want to make a judge laugh, do something so fucking stupid, he has no choice but to laugh. I'm not joking on this. If you do something so stupid, whether it's illegal or not, if you're sent to a courtroom, if it's that stupid and you tell it to the judge in honesty, because you have to, you're under oath to tell the truth as a citizen, you have to do something very stupid though. It has to be very stupid. And when you look at them in the eye, and you tell them, Your Honor, I done this and this and that. If you look at him, he will know you're honest, and he will laugh. Or she, my bad. My bad. I know there's female judges out there. I had a female judge. She wasn't nice. The male judge was nicer. Preferred him. He laughed at my joke.
Let's see. I'll issue a pre-hearing ruling shortly after today. I'll put in there the dates that I set, and I'll also put in there how evidentiary exhibits will be received. I issued an order, I'm trying to think of the date, a while ago, November 13th. I issued an order November 13th dealing with evidentiary exhibits. I will include in the pre-hearing ruling how evidence comes in. So if you've served evidence as an attachment or sent an email, it's not in.
Oh,
Evidence
what's
comes in
up,
through a justice department.
Martinos? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you have fun here. I'm just watching the DEA hold a hearing on rescheduling marijuana right now. I'm invested in it, in like all these different weed companies, so I'm definitely invested in the outcome of this.
Department system. It's called the Department of Justice Enterprise File Sharing System, Jeffs. Now, that may seem
They
like
have a file sharing system, so they couldn't use anything like send anywhere or whatever. No, we just have to make our own. When they have to go as far as to make their own file sharing system software, you know you can't trust anything in this world. By the way, I'm Sniff Sniff. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hey Sniff. How's it going?
a pain in the neck, but I feel that each of you need to know that no one's been sitting here reviewing your evidence before I get it. It comes a
Oh, so no one's been snooping at anything I've been saying to a court official? I'm so concerned.
particular way. When it comes and it's offered, I will
Good,
review it.
you? I'm going good. I'm just making fun. I, I have to make fun of what I see, okay? So far, I'm having a great time with this. This is great. I'm having an especially great time with this woman right here, because she is clearly enjoying every minute of this courtroom. She doesn't realize that if the outcome of this was good, she could go smoke a joint after work. I'm teasing. It's a court official. I doubt she could smoke marijuana after work, even after it gets legalized. Who knows? It's funny. Yo, what's up, Ivy? How do I say your name? Give me something in chat. Give me something to call you. I have no idea what to call you. How do I say your name? I'm sorry. I'm not good at this. Ivy works like the plant. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. That works with me. Either way, let's see what happens. She's clearly enjoying her job, though. I love this. She is enjoying it.
And I will review it as fast and carefully as I can. But it's got to come in through the Jeff system. But I'll explain all that in the pre-hearing ruling. The Jeff system requires a link. We will send a link to all the designated participants.
Oh,
Now,
much
you
better.
are all here, and it is important to each one of you to get your case across. When I send the Jeff's link, or somebody does, I think it would behoove you all to refrain from sharing it with the world, unless you want
What?
your evidence to be buried inside a mass of other paperwork.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. If they shared the link, it would be a lot of work. But at the same time, we want to give our testimonies too.
Let's see.
I should have been there, but I can't afford to go there yet.
All right. The evidence filing date, I'll tell you right now, is going to be January 3rd, 2025.
Okay.
Also, a note on proposed evidence. These are kind of rare proceedings. It's rulemaking, and it's rulemaking where everybody, or a lot of people, have a big stake in this.
Which state is this at? This court office is... You know what? They just said it, and I completely forgot. Oh my god. Oh, here we go. I got the thing pulled up. It's here. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see this. But this is the courtroom that this is currently being played at. And I thought they were going to go all the way to 5 o'clock p.m., but I guess not. I was wrong on that. This only took them 2 hours to do. What is this court case about? The court case is about DEA rescheduling marijuana. And hopefully, literally fingers crossed. Fingers fucking crossed. It's in favor. Please. If it's in favor, my investments are gonna shoot through the fucking roof. And I can't wait. Like, are gonna upgrade it? LOL. Like, in case the control. I'm confused. Can you explain that? And yes, I have to use phone for chat. Don't get mad at me, okay? It's what I got. I can't have it on here, otherwise it blocks the judge. You can't not see the judge. He's kind of the important person. Unless there's a jury, I don't think they said anything about a jury, so I think it's just a judge's decision on this.
All right. in reading the papers, and I appreciate all the care that people put into their papers, but and I don't mean to disparage anybody, but I did get the sense in reading it that some among us have a sense that they want to back up a truck full of paper and dump it on me. Well, that is not the way that a hearing works. I know that everybody wants to be careful and they want to give me
The prank channels are getting to the judge.
all the things that they've had and all the things that might be important to them and not leave out anything. Someone even kindly offered to send me his book. I don't remember who that was, but here's a spoiler alert. I'm not going to be reading anybody's book. This is an evidentiary hearing, and there are rules for the things to come in. I want the evidence. It's important. And those of you who've been in this,
That's true.
you know I have put no small amount of work into reading your motions and thinking about them. This will be a transparent hearing.
But the funniest part is she is not having it. You guys have to pay attention to this woman, okay? Not only do you have to pay attention to the judge, pay attention to this woman's facial cues. Just do it. You are going to laugh. She is having. I can't.
You'll get to be heard.
Just pay attention.
But I'm not going to read anyone's book. The agency has been clear, and so have the district courts, that it's not my responsibility to sift through mountains of evidence to pick out what you might think is probative in the proceeding. Everybody has to have a sponsoring witness. Your witness can tell me why the document is important, what it is, why I should read it, and in particular, where in the document I need to look. That's how a hearing works.
She just doesn't want to be there.
Opinions. A little bit of black letter law.
You can tell.
Opinions are kind of like heads. Everybody has one. But the only kinds of opinions that can come into a hearing like this are expert opinions.
Because you could tell everyone else is so focused on this. Like, you could tell the nerd over here has been doing nothing but fucking typing. This person over here, she has a look at her paperwork. I think she's more busy. This girl just doesn't want to fucking be there.
So, if you want me to have the benefit of an expert opinion, you've got to notice your witness as to why he's an expert in what particular area. And we're going to be talking to some of the...
Sorry, he may not be a nerd. You never know. I'm just saying, okay? You can just tell he's working, okay? I'm not trying to judge. She's a stenographer. She has to. I thought this guy was the stenographer. Because he's at the computer. She doesn't look like she has a computer. Well, we can't see, to be fair. That's true. She could have a computer behind that. So, this girl is actually just typing the entire time. And looking around at everybody. Dude. That's professional. That is professional if that's the case. Holy fuck, she's crazy.
Some of the counsel
I cannot type like that.
Why the person's an expert, or even
have
where
to
the
look.
document that you're proposing comes from. Because although you're going to give me a bunch of documents on January 3rd, that doesn't mean they're in evidence.
Okay.
Every piece of evidence has to have a foundation. I need to know what it is, why it's important. I'll read it, but I need to know where to go. I need to know where to look and why I should depend on that. And that's your chance to say, this is the study, or this is the document that's important. This is why you should be persuaded, and why the agency should be persuaded one way or another. I don't have the luxury of reading mountains. As any of you can tell, I probably don't have the lifespan to read mountains of evidence. On a related subject, no legal opinions, please. For better or for worse, probably usually for worse.
No legal opinions. What? Okay, you might want legal facts.
There's only one legal expert in the courtroom. That's me. By the same token, though, if there is an element of the statute or the regulation that I need to pay attention to, and you've brought an expert that's competent to talk about it, well, I want to know that. I need to know that. That's why everybody's
okay,
here.
that's fair.
If you can tell me something about...
Sir, this is a Wendy's. Yes. I love Wendy's, actually. I actually just got some last night. Funny enough, there's a cup right there.
why or why
Gotta get
not
rid of it.
marijuana makes or doesn't make a standard, well, I'm all ears. All right, unless we work something else out today based on consolidation, every designated participant will be afforded 90 minutes to present its one witness. Mr. Zorn, you and I will talk about your list when time's to get up here. And any designated
It's funny I'm smoking marijuana while also watching the marijuana trial.
participant on the
That's
other
America,
side
baby.
will get to cross that witness for 20 minutes. Consolidated parties can have
We're slow.
120 minutes and 1 to 2 witnesses. I was originally going to say one witness. Then I thought to myself, well, what profit are they really getting out of consolidating? I think there is merit to consolidating to get your point across. And in reading all of your documents very carefully, a lot of you do share some interest, and it might be well worth your while. No one, except perhaps the government, can have more than 2 witnesses. As it happens, the government's only noticed 2 witnesses, but the government's the burden party. And just so that everyone understands, there may be time where the government is afforded some latitude because it is the proponent of the rule. We'll get to that.
That's
later.
true. The government does have decisions, especially on Department of Transportation.
After your witness is done, you can have one of 2 things. Before you put on a witness, you can have 10 minutes to introduce the witness, to have a small opening statement.
10 minutes?
At the conclusion of the witness's testimony,
Hi, my name's Dakota Justice. I do things I like, okay? I enjoy my freedom of life. There's your fucking introduction. You don't need 10 minutes, what the fuck?
you can have one of 2 things. You can either have a 10-minute closing, and everything is transcribed, to tell me why I should rely on your witness and your evidence, or within 5 business days, you can give me a brief not to exceed 25 pages. So if you feel that now is the time to tell me about your witness, right after the witness has
Okay,
testified,
fine, true.
let me know. Tell me. If you want the 5 days for the brief, let me know. But you can choose from column
Thank you
A
for following,
or
Ivy.
column B. Not both, no matter how strongly you may feel about the subject. There'll be no colloquy between any of you and anybody else who is not me. I paid for the room. You're not to talk to each other. Apart from the closings I just talked about, there's no argument presented during the proceedings. If there's an objection, I may or may not allow argument on the objection. I will rule on the objection, and then we're going to proceed further without any more talk about the objection. Some of the parties here, including the government, are represented by multiple counsel. Each witness will be directed and crossed by one counsel.
Okay. No jury? Alright.
Another note, most of you are lawyers, and the people who are not lawyers are people that have worked very hard to be successful in life. There is no jury here. There's just me.
Okay.
There's no jury to impress. There's just me. And I've long passed a point in my life where any amount of histrionics or sighing or exhaling or shuffling about is going to impress me. I've got a lot of work to do.
Okay.
As you know, I've read and I've answered every motion.
He's cooking, you're right.
Motion practice is concluded.
Holy shit.
But if I see any groaning, shouting, exhaling, anything like that, I just don't have the luxury for it. So what's going to happen is you'll be removed. Now, look, you've worked hard to get here. You've worked hard on your cases. You've worked hard on your papers that you filed. To waste your shot just because of something that just will have no effect on me. I've also raised three wonderful daughters. None of it's going to affect me. None of the. You can't guilt me into anything. I've been doing this for years. I'm almost done.
Oh, he has a script?
All right.
All right.
That's
He's fucking
everything
cooking.
that I wanted to tell you. But as I had discussed before, I'm going to get to talk to each one of you. I'll ask some questions about some questions that I have, and some of the filings leave me with very little in terms of questions. I've worked hard on looking at your availabilities to try and work them out. And we'll take everybody one at a time. Government, you can approach the podium.
Oh, they're gonna let
And if I
government
could
go
have
first.
your appearance and everybody else's appearance, I'd be grateful for the government.
Oh, shit.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Schwartz.
James J. Schwartz, appearing for the Drug Enforcement Administration.
No, you can do all of them. You can do everyone at your council table.
Along with me is S. Taylor Johnston, Jarrett Lonich, and Julie Hamilton.
Bro almost burned it and caught himself.
Good morning, all. Thanks. Oh, no, you don't get to leave. Who's lead counsel?
I am, Your Honor.
Good. Okay, and
Okay.
let me ask you, I'll start with the hard question. What's your position? Are you arguing in support of your agency's rule?
We are the proponent of the rule, absolutely, yes, Your Honor.
Great. Now, you've noticed two witnesses.
Okay.
One of them is noticed as as providing a foundation for 43,000 comments, it looks like to me.
Correct.
Okay. Now, not to ruin the surprise, but 43,000 comments aren't coming in. That's a different part of the proceeding. That's the notice and comment part. As I said to everybody before, for the 43,000 comments, each one of them is valuable. Each one of them has to be read. But
I'm
that's
surprised
not
it's
part of this
only
process.
that much.
Because, now, as I promised everybody before, nothing's ruled in, nothing's ruled out. But for your planning purposes, 43,000 comments will exceed my lifespan. That's not what's gonna happen, but also, it's not evidence. The only evidence that can come in is evidence that's material, relevant, not unduly repetitious. In my opinion, those are things, and they're really important in the process.
That's an opinion, not legal fact.
They're things that the agency must read and consider, and not only that, for those of you who haven't practiced in the APA, they're parts of the process that the agency has to address in its final order. But it just has no place in a ruling. But here's what I'll do. I understand your position. I know that you've got two witnesses noticed. One of them is to lay a foundation for those comments. Because momentarily I thought that I would have each one of the comments have its own foundation, or to give it to me
Okay.
in any
Moderate the
paper.
comments.
But here's what I think I'll do. If
Reddit
you
works
choose,
for that.
so that you can preserve your issue, if you choose to give it to me in an affidavit, the foundation, I'm not telling you to, but if you choose to do that, and you'll have your chance to object at the time. I mean, you've got a position on it, and you laid out your position. I'll give you latitude to do that. But just for your planning purposes, I thought I would tell you that I'm very skeptical about it because it doesn't fit into the APA structure. It's unwieldy. It's certainly going to be cumulative. I can't see that it's material and I can't see that it's relevant, but I'm only giving you a heads up. I'm not ruling on it now. So I want you to have your position. I want you to preserve your position. When the time comes, if you had thought about an affidavit, I will take the affidavit. So I'm not telling you to do that, but those are what your options are. Let me give you another easy one. You had mentioned in your
Oh,
pre-hearing
shit.
statement that
Hold on. Wait, was that deleted by a Twitch mod? I don't have any mods. How do I fix this? Oh my gosh. Any weed comments that get blocked? No shot, I even marked as stream. I don't have the thingy. Where's the... Here it is. No, you're playing a joke on me. This has to be. There's no way. You're good. I like that. No, I typed it like that. You fuck! I knew it! It was a joke about Reddit. You got me.
that you were thinking
That was good.
of requesting subpoenas.
Correct, Your Honor.
If you do that, get them to me before the homework date,
Oh shit!
and I'll rule on each one. Let me know why
For
they're
real, I
relevant. can
did.
guess,
I know.
Let me know who you want, identify the person,
Yeah,
or the title,
covers the judge a little.
and someplace where it needs to be served. If I issue them, you've been doing this a long time. You know that you guys are responsible for service, however that
Can't
happens.
cover the witness
All right.
either. No
And
chat.
let's see.
As much as I want chat on, I can't. It covers everything.
I think that might be. Oh, I've got an issue about
How do I get a transparent Twitch chat? I'll figure that out later. We got other things to do.
your availability. Seems to me that you're not available until July or something.
Well, February is very open, Your Honor.
Here's what's going to happen. I want to accommodate you. Look, I tried cases long enough to know that I take my witnesses as I get them. I need to move forward with my hearing. I'm sure,
Okay.
I'm not telling you to, but the government is welcome to be here every day. I would recommend that you are. If you've got a witness availability issue,
No,
as I
I'm
said,
on
I'll try and work with you,
Edge.
but I would imagine
I use Edge because Chrome doesn't work with ad blocker that well. It's owned by Google, to be fair. So, anytime I use it on Chrome, I get that warning that they're going to ban my account if I keep using ad blocker. But if I use Microsoft Edge for some reason, I don't know why, but I've never gotten that warning since. So, whatever happened, all I know is the Switch is great, and I've been using Edge ever since. I don't want to. I would much rather use a browser like Brave. I do have Brave. I love Brave. It's a good browser. Very powerful shit. I love it. But I do use Microsoft Edge for everything I do. Like I do you see my tabs? I have so many. Hold on guys, my dad's at the door. Yes, I live with my family, but don't worry. I'm back. Oh, wrong thing. Where's my webcam? Here it is. Alright. Hey, if it works, it works. Yeah, exactly. No kidding. I love it. I can't complain. Ever since I made the switch, I ain't got the warnings. So, yeah. Fair game on that. Yeah, I just got popped. Coconut creamy. Like, I like the Dr. Pepper stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't like coconut. Am I weird for that? That I don't like coconut? I don't know.
that there
Judge
might
me
be
if you
some
want.
advantage for the proponent to put on their case first. So whatever date I set, and I think everyone can pretty much expect it'll be mid-February. I would urge you to do what you can to have your to have your witnesses here, particularly since I've given you the option of an affidavit for your foundation witness. We're talking about one witness who's a PhD, and a building full of lawyers. So what I would hope is that if I said something in mid-January, that could be accommodated. Tell me, I've been talking, talk to me, Mr. Schwartz.
It's been a while since we've had a chance to
It
chat,
is.
so I do appreciate
It is,
this.
but I have always appreciated your hard work.
So given what you said about the possibility of affidavits for foundational, and I assume we can do that also for the NPRM itself, really the only
That's too close.
date that currently is problematic would be the week of January 13 to 7.
Yo, wait, what kind of cup?
Currently is
I want it. I need the link. That is a good color combination.
problematic would be the week of January 13th to 17th when Ms. Akinfire-Soy is actually already scheduled to be a witness in a trial. So that's those 13th to 17th dates. The rest of the dates related more to the witness that was potentially now going to appear by affidavit. So
And don't get me wrong, you still can call a witness. I
Sure,
just thought
sure,
it would be
sure.
easier for you, since I know what the issue is. I want you to have your issue, I want you to preserve your issue. I can definitely accommodate that.
Okay.
It might be that you might not be the first one up.
Sure.
I may take somebody up, but if your availability, it's a district court case, I take it?
I can look it up. I don't know
you
off the
don't-
top of my head, but I believe
you're
so.
fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was thinking of starting the trial, depending on what everyone tells me, that week, the week of the 13th
need
to the
this to
17th.
go
I was
well,
thinking starting on the
guys.
14th. I'm not here to torture people. I mean, if it looks like it's not gonna work, we'll sort it out. The APA requires that the hearing has to be set with due regard to the convenience of the parties and their witnesses, and their representatives, excuse me. So if I can count on you to give me your witness the second week, I can certainly accommodate that. Does that work for you?
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. And I think
Drag it on.
that's it for me. Do you have anything for me?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Schwartz.
Thank you.
As always.
I wonder why my investments would go down.
All right.
Let's see.
Next one up on my hit parade is the consolidated.
And for anyone wondering, yes, I do have to drink water bottles because I have well water. I live out in the country. Why do you think the stream keeps going down? I have Starlink. It's the best I got. If it works, it works.
Parties of the Office of Cannabis Ombudsman, State of Connecticut, and Ellen Brown, and that is you, Mr. Zorn. Welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can I have your appearance?
Matthew Zorn for the Connecticut Office of Cannabis Ombudsman, Ellen Brown, and then I'll note in my submission, although I suspect Your Honor is going to address that, I also have consolidated the doc app as well in the pre-hearing
Oh,
statement.
did I leave it out? I didn't mean to. I
Get a
wasn't
bud
being
man
clever.
in there.
The doc app as well.
And
That's
Your Honor,
right.
if I would have permission to just use the term patient parties, because I think it'll just be easier to use.
Yes, but it would make a mess of my record later.
Okay.
Because people will be telling me, I'm a patient party, aren't I a patient? And look, the judge could be more patient. He's not that patient either. So what I'd ask you to do is, if you could just call it OCO Brown in the doc app. I know who you are, but I want, if, let's say, this shouldn't be because you're consolidated, but let's say that you do have some sort of an issue about whose objection you want to lodge it on behalf of. If you could say that and say, like, on behalf of all parties, let me know. I can hear you. I know what you're doing, but the record often isn't so patient. So let's do this. It notices 3 witnesses. Thank you always for your thoughtful papers that you submit, Mr. Zorn, by the way. You've got 3 witnesses up, and you've got your availability. I've got some issues about the witnesses. I'm going to tell them to you. The limit is going to be 2 witnesses. You can have 120 minutes. All right? I'll let you pick, but I'll tell you what occurred to me as I was reading your papers. All right? let's start with Mr. Goyle. He's from DocApp, and the way that it's noticed, it seems like it's anecdotal evidence, and I can't find the relevance as to how it relates to moving marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And since I'd already had motion practice about it,
Okay.
I'd be lying if I said I was motivated to find the relevance. I didn't really want to be telling you no again. But it seems to me that it's anecdotal, it's his opinion, it seems like it has to do with his proprietary software. And his proprietary software is going to work at 1 and 3, even as I've read it. And I went back and I read every paper about him, because my inclination is not to say no.
He's cooking.
Help me out with this. Like, where do you see his relevance to that narrow issue that I've got? And remember, everybody, this is not a trial about whether marijuana is good or marijuana is bad, because I don't know whether it's good or it's bad. My issues are much more narrow than that. Has to do with addiction potential and several other little pigeonholes that I have.
Okay.
To the extent that I've ever had an opinion, which it hasn't really entered much into my life, it doesn't matter. But tell me, where do you see his relevance? What's your best argument for his relevance, Mr. Zorn?
Thank you, Your Honor. And let me take a step back. I will answer your question directly, but I think it's my view of the case is this is actually a fairly simple hearing. I've read all the submissions, and I think a lot of people are addressing collateral issues.
Get to it.
A lot of people are addressing collateral issues. It's very simple. Is there an accepted medical use? And if so, is the potential for abuse equal to fentanyl, or is it less than fentanyl? That's my position in the case, is that this isn't like an opiate. This belongs in a schedule lower than that. And the reason
I am turning it down because holy fuck, that hurts. Ow. Hold on.
I start there is because that ties into the relevance of this witness. Actually, both prongs, which is Mr. Garrelay he has a software program that he uses in the state of Florida, which collects data from patients. And one of the observations he's going to make is that patients use the software, and they match strains of marijuana to come off of opiates, and sometimes even drop out of the medical marijuana program entirely because they use that to wean off of opiates. And I think that is powerful probative evidence towards at least the second point, that this is not on par with fentanyl, heroin, all of these opiates that everyone in the country is addicted to. So he can attest to that using his software and using data. And I understand Your Honor's point about anecdotal evidence, but his software and the data that he's collecting, I believe, would be very instructive for Your Honor to see that there are efforts, and it's not just him, but there are efforts of entrepreneurs out there to put this together, and have in fact put this together, and that medical programs use this type of data. As far as accepted medical use, I understand that there's a dispute amongst all the parties as to what that means. I understand there's a dispute even within the government as to what that means. But my position, and what Mr. Garrelay will also show, is that people are in fact using this medically, and we have data to show that.
Let me jump in here.
Yes.
I'm gonna be deaf for a
First
while.
off, the only thing that enters into what we decide here, just to prepare everybody, is what I've got in the record. And what I've got in the record is Mr. Schwartz, who I have a lot of confidence in, has told me that he is the proponent of the rule. That they want the rule, they've asked for the rule, and for me, that's what I have, and I rely on him. Now let's get back to Mr. Garrelay. I can't see that he would be any way that there's to put him in as an expert witness on any of it. Look, his software might be great, but as I explained at some length, because of the thoughtfulness, I think, of your brief, he's not an expert on what's addictive. He might have some statistics, but it seems like that's a place, then, from at least the way it's noticed, that's better suited for the notice and comment section. I think, and it would be hard to argue with the fact that his software isn't ingenious in a lot of ways if it does the things that he says. But the rest of it's gonna be his opinion. And I can't admit him as an expert, and I can't consider.
I did a bit of reading. I'm pretty sure nothing will be decided today. It's a preliminary hearing. The evidentiary hearing is where it is. I could be wrong though. True, but you gotta think about this too. Every trial of this would also affect my investments. So what he says in this could affect it. I'm really hoping he is not going to say something that would really do something bad to the trial. I'm hoping. It's all on this. And I don't know. I'm wondering if he said something bad because it's affecting everything that I've invested in. Then again, I did just invest in 6 other companies. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Let's see here. Total gains and loss. Ooh, yeah, this is not great. Wait, one company I invested in went up by $1. Okay. This is what's crazy, okay? You need to understand this. I invested a total of, in this one stock, no joke, in this one stock, let's see what its current value is. I've invested $47, or let's see. Let me go into the history. I invested exactly $46.20. That's what I invested. Exactly. As it shows in the transaction history. Just the stock I originally invested right when it, oh, I don't know if I can show this that well. Yeah, I can. Fuck, I have to do this on my computer. Either way, this one stock I invested in went up by 4 cents. Just 4 cents. Well, not 3, my bad. 4. 4 cents. American dollars, by the way. This isn't Australian or whatever else. It's American because this is an American trial, obviously. Either way. 4 cents. And it gave me $1. 4 cents. I'm not joking. That, if everything goes according to plan and marijuana gets rescheduled, everything changes. Everything. Everything. Especially in the investment
His
history.
opinion, and what he
I
thinks
invested in
about
12 of
his
them.
software isn't gonna move the needle. And if it's not gonna move the needle,
I
then I have
made
to ask
moves.
myself, where
This
am I gonna
better
put it into
go
a decision?
well.
Because look, I've heard you. I'm just going to tell you that just because I don't knock anybody out here, if somebody's not giving me relevant evidence, what's going to happen is you might
Please.
have wasted your
I
shot
need this to go
on a
well.
witness who I'm not going to take any of his testimony. So a lot of that's going to be a tactical decision on your part. But I'm not seeing it. Um, it's a fairly narrow issue. And his software, even if you believe it, he's a big proponent of letting patients decide what marijuana they have. That's a place for Congress. That's a place for the states. The structure is
Yeah, they're gonna have to
that
argue on
the
which
doctor writes a
classifications.
prescription, and there are requirements in the regulations for the prescription. His software seems to conveniently cut out the physician
There's
out of the
gonna be a
process.
lot they have
So
to
I can't
argue.
imagine
You
what he
might
would
be
tell me.
right.
It's not even whether I agree with it or disagree with it. I can't use it. So I'm telling you what my concern is, so you can factor that into your decisions. I guess my concern with your witness, Mr. Preston, it seems like the opinion of a non-expert, and I don't know where it fits in. And same thing with Accenture, the pharmacist. The pharmacist clearly has an expertise that's relevant here on several levels, but he's not noticed as an expert, and I don't know where his expertise would come in, the way it's noticed, in terms of addiction. Look, I know that pharmacists have a high level of expertise and a high level of education. I regulate pharmacists. But I guess my concern for you is that he has a lot of opinions about things that would seem, from what I've read, to be leaning a little bit too far over the
He's
skis.
fucking cooking.
And as far as the patient testimonial witnesses, yeah, we're not going to be doing those. Everybody had a chance to comment. That's part one of the APA. They did their notice and comments, so there's none of them coming in. You had a couple of motions, I guess, at the end of your paper. One of them is that you would ask that the hearing be conducted on the record. Okay. Now,
Sorry,
I'm
Your
going to
Honor,
try not to be offended by that, but just so that everyone knows, everything in this hearing is going to be conducted on the record. Because if you think about what the corollary is, it's, Judge, please don't have a secret meeting with some of the witnesses. You see how that's a little uncomfortable? There will be no secret meetings. Everything will be on the record. If there's an off-the-record conference dealing with logistics, it'll be on the record as soon as we open up again.
Your Honor, and just
I
so
don't
Your
know.
Honor has some context, I was involved in another formal rulemaking along these lines a couple years ago, and all the hearings weren't on the record, and there was one very important hearing that wasn't on the record.
The reported case?
Oops.
It has
My
to do
bad.
with the
Yeah, I had
5
to
trip
watch the
meetings in Judge
stream, so I know
Walbaum, and there was something very
the
concerning that
audio.
was said off the record, so I just want
Oh,
you to understand what
let
that
me
was.
put your
I think
concerns
I
at ease.
fixed it.
I have been doing this too long to be escorted out of the building. Everything will be on the record. Also, you had made a discovery request. I've got no authority for discovery. You have other tools at your disposal. You had said that
What?
you were asking for a certain discovery at the end of your paper. And let me just
I'm
get
not
it for
sure
you.
I think I have concerns about the government being the proponent of the rule, even just hearing today where Your Honor asked if they supported the rule and their response was they're the proponent of the rule. Proponent just means that they're proposing the rule. It does not mean that they're supporting the rule. And I thought that question and answer was a little bit concerning for me, and I share the concerns of some of the designated parties here. I still don't know if the government is supporting the rule, and I think that their submission where they disclosed no exhibit, every party here managed to put together all their exhibits. The government is apparently still compiling the exhibits. They have more attorneys here than any other party, and I just think that they're sandbagging us, and I hate to put that on the
All right.
record, but
He's
If you'd
cooking
like to put something on
too!
the record, Mr. Zorn, then don't. The government is the proponent of the rule. The government also is representing the Drug Enforcement Administration. Now, there's going to be a recommended decision.
Good, I'm glad I
The
fixed it.
head of the agency, whoever that is at the time, is going to be reading carefully all the things that are put in front of that person, and then going to make a decision based on several concerns. One of them is public safety. So it bothers me not at all
I brought
that
that
the
point
head
up.
of the agency that's making such an important decision wants to read it all first. Otherwise, we are all wasting our time. Now, the government has said it's the proponent. How they put in their case is up to them, and there's certainly enough people in favor of it that are going to be here and put on a case too. But I've read that in a lot of your papers. Not your, I mean, a lot of yours, the sort of the big we. But I haven't seen a single witness from the government. I haven't seen anything from them. Let's say the government decides in the middle of it that they don't like this as a rule based on public safety, and they do that based on what we do here. That doesn't bother me a bit. That's part of the APA. Half the people in the room are not entitled to have the administrator be a cheerleader. Okay, what they're entitled to expect, and what the American public can expect, is that I do my very best to get to make a decision that's consistent with the evidence, whether people like it or they don't. But as far as this business with who's a proponent and who's not a proponent, you're at the podium, so I'm sorry to give it all to you, but I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It's not part of what I have to do, and I've got a lot to cover.
Your Honor, I understand your
Okay.
concerns. My concern, I want everyone to put on their cases. My concern namely here, and I think you referred to the discovery quest, is it's about notice. It's about fair notice. It's what case are you even putting on? And I know everyone's case from the podium on back. I don't even know their case because they did not put exhibits in their
Don't
pretrial
be
hearing
salty.
as Your Honor instructed. And they just said that they're
Not.
still compiling them. And
Damn it.
they clearly
Oh, God.
have, the government clearly has some exhibits it's contemplating, because when you read above the footnote of where they say, we're going to disclose this in the future as Your Honor
I can
provides,
see why
they
I don't
talk
like
about
it.
those exhibits in the proposed testimony. So they clearly have them in a file somewhere. They just didn't put it in their filing. So the only proposed discovery, I'm
probably
not
better
interested in
cold.
disqualifying parties. I'm not interested in anything. I simply want to know the government's position as far as what exhibits does it intend to present as of today. It clearly has some of them in mind.
Ugh.
It didn't put it in its pre-hearing statement. Everyone else put their exhibits in their pre-hearing statement. That's my concern. And so I use that particular word. But again, Your Honor, I just find it disappointing. I can't fathom why everyone else here managed to put a list of exhibits and the government said, we're still compiling our exhibits.
Let me put this to rest.
Yeah.
This might be somewhat helpful. Government, get your exhibit list in by the homework date. All right. I think that's certainly valid, Mr.
Too late now. Yeah.
Zorn. But I can only deal with what I have here. I'll judge their case as it comes in. I'll make a recommended decision, and then we'll move on beyond that.
He's just bringing up the same point again the second time around. Oh, hey, the government didn't bring their exhibits. Oh, hey, the government's still the... Yeah, listen, man. Don't say the same point twice. Make something different. You got to. If you don't, you're just bringing it up twice.
But you said you weren't trying to disqualify anybody. The person who made that motion, that was a very thoughtful motion. I spent a lot of time with that. To look at what the
I mean, it
tools
smells
were, what the evidence
good.
were that I had. And I think I gave everybody at least a transparent document, agree with me or not, or disagree with me. Now, Mr. Zorn, sorry you were first one up, and I do appreciate all your work. Anything else for me?
I do, just for the record, to address some of the points. As far as Mr. Garrelay and his software is concerned, I just want to note that the notice and comment process, you can't submit software. So I think the purpose of these hearings in part is to receive factual evidence of formal rulemaking that can't be submitted through the notice and comment. And it's not simply limited to expert opinion. This is precisely designed to receive data and evidence that isn't susceptible to being submitted under the APA's normal procedure. And so I would submit to Your Honor that it would be error to exclude that on grounds that it could have been submitted in the notice and comment or that it's not expert opinion. I think if there's foundation for factual testimony, it should be able to come in these rulemaking proceedings. In fact, that is the very purpose of a formal rulemaking proceeding. And again, Mr. Center, I believe, is a qualified expert. He has a degree in cannabis science. He has, in federal court under Daubert, he would easily qualify as an expert. It's possible that certain opinions might not
Well, where is
be
he?
under that expertise, and we can take that as they come. But I think that, and I did put in the submission, I think he said he is going to be offering expert testimony, so I do intend to qualify him as an expert.
Sounds fine.
Okay.
I would remember, all I'm telling you all is the things that occur to me as I'm looking at it. This is kind of fair notice for everybody.
Yes, Your Honor. As
Okay.
far as, I think you said the government gets in their exhibits by the homework date. I don't know if this...
The list of exhibits.
Yes, I don't know if Your Honor is going to have supplemental pre-hearing statements.
No.
Okay. So will the parties, all of the parties, not just my side, but the other side, have a chance to respond to the government's?
No, you
Okay.
come to court.
Okay.
You want to cross-examine someone? Come to court.
Okay.
Everyone will have their 20 minutes of fame to cross-examine
Okay.
people on the other side.
The final point, Your Honor.
So you're right. It is just a preliminary hearing. Nothing's gonna be decided yet. But I think I know why my investments went down. I think I figured that out in just one testimony. Took me a bit. I think I figured it out. I'll explain a bit. Just let it keep going to confirm my point.
Honor, as I've noticed, Your Honor, and all the parties here, there are two judicial proceedings that I'm aware of that bear on the issues here. I'm happy to talk about them, but I also don't want to take up everyone's time if Your Honor's not interested.
Well, why don't you talk about them when we do the merits? But I don't want to cut you off. Like I said, you put a lot of work into everything, Mr. Zorn. So I guess this isn't the time to argue on it. But if there's something you want to bring to my attention, it was just you're talking about two cases, or?
Yeah, there was a petition for review proceeding that was initiated last Wednesday in the United States Court of Appeals for the.
I mean, you're also right. Today sets the tone. People get to see what the judge is like. There you go. There's a good point. They get to see him, see what he thinks, what he is going to say, how he's going to enact these things, what he's going to do. Maybe if he thinks that he's against marijuana, that would therefore affect the tone set.
DC Circuit.
Got it. I'm aware of it.
And I am not. I'm obviously it's a.
We don't know
firm, but
until he says it. We gotta hear him say it.
In these proceedings, in light of the administrator's 25-person list, nobody really knows how that list was compiled. I could talk about the facts of how the decisions first went out on the day before Thanksgiving, informing parties that they weren't attending as if they didn't already know. But I think one of the I think for your honor is that it's possible that we seek a stay. I'm supposed to. I think we need to move here first for a stay. We'll do that in the paper.
If I'm a regular fucking Joe, and I've been paying attention to this, anyone who should work at this or be like, hey, we gotta gather evidence for this, you should know. He's right. You should know. If I knew, they should know.
Papers if we need to, but
I'm just a citizen. I don't know things much.
If you're moving,
I just invest. I gotta pay attention to this shit.
I get a stay that's motivated by Axon, which is a challenge to the structure. I'm generally pretty agreeable because I think everyone has the right to that. But then I think the Supreme Court said, but sort of didn't say in Georgia.
Okay, so there we go. We got him to say he's agreeable. Is he agreeable to that? We'll find out.
I can see that was the harm. Being pulled through, an Axon. That was the harm. But remember that you're going to be delaying these proceedings till God only knows when. Now,
he's right.
I've got ways to
and I am too.
I'm sure.
My bad.
But understand that when you go back to your seat after you get your stay, marijuana just stops. For as long as the district court in the one case the Court of Appeals takes. So I would leave that up to you. I think I don't know what you get later.
That's one way to try and shoo him off. Wow.
So you might want to give that some thought. The other thing is regarding Axon. This is not an enforcement proceeding. Remember, everybody's here because they clawed their way in. Fortunately for me, I have a limited amount of things to decide, and one of them is not what the administrator does. The administrator is busy enough. So any challenge to that, you'd think that if it was your clients, I know you said it was someone from your firm, that standing might be a little bit of an issue since you did get to be here. But I will follow the direction of the federal courts, whether it's the Court of Appeals or the district court.
Oh shit, I've been smoking these bitches.
And anybody that wants to submit a request for a stay, I will give it careful consideration and I will give it a written decision.
Your Honor, and just to preview the issue and why it's kind of like a quasi-Axon challenge in the sense of I think one of the arguments in that proceeding is going to be that the administrator and the agency actually doesn't even have authority, and that Your Honor does, but that the NPRM itself, the Attorney General order, cabins and prescribes the exact authority that the administrator was to exercise in this case, and it was determine if there's a hearing, notice that hearing, and that In between, there's a step that wasn't actually delegated to the administrator, and understanding that the administrator has a general delegation, but that the specific delegation in the NPRM supersedes that. And the reason that's also important is DOJ is the proponent of the rule in the Attorney General order, and I believe that Your Honor's recommendation should go to the Attorney General and not to the DA administrator. And I think that's a legal issue that has import that bears on the proceeding, similar to an Axon-type challenge. It's not.
I think I'm understanding the argument he's making. He's trying to point out, for example, like the Department of Justice. They have authority over matters in justice-related matters. The Department of Transportation, DOT, has authority in those matters. I think he's trying to bring the argument that they all have their own authorities, just like he has his own authority to make the decision on this matter. He's trying to bring this trial to an end right now. That's what I think he's trying to do. I could be wrong.
It's not simply a tiny issue. And so I just want to forecast that to Your Honor, because I'm not in the business of surprises.
I appreciate
Not
that,
wrong.
and I understand that's what you're giving me. But understand this, that all of the Attorney General's authority was delegated to the DEA administrator by regulation, and it didn't hold any back. So all of the authority that was vested in the statute to the Attorney General, and I know you're not here to argue, you're just giving me a heads up, and I'm grateful for it. But I will tell you this, that I guess what I would remind you of, if I'm directed by the courts to stop, or if a stay is issued, everybody goes home until the court decides that it would consider that. And I know you've practiced in federal court. It would be how motivated the district court judge is, or the Court of Appeals, is to take that case. And again, I don't know how long my lifespan is. But, I appreciate the heads up, though. I know that's what you're giving
Yeah,
us. Mr.
I'm obviously, there could be disagreement, but I just wanted to give Your Honor notice. And then the other case, I initiated an action in my own name, Freedom of Information Act case. I filed for a preliminary injunction on Sunday. As soon as I get a summons, I will serve the agency. And it is Freedom of Information Act related to the ex parte communications that I think everyone in this room can admit existed in some small form. Who knows the scope of that?
Well,
Bro, you're not gonna get them to, if they're not gonna, hold on. If the government doesn't want to talk about the aliens in the sky, they're not gonna confirm nothing like that, let alone anything about JFK, until it gets declassified, or you get your Freedom of Information Act, whatever.
I said in the order that nobody said it didn't. I didn't really make a finding. I just said that no one said it didn't make one. I think I was pretty clear in the order. But that wasn't a finding.
Yeah,
that anybody
he's
said
pushing
it
his
did.
luck.
And I don't
And that's why I think my investments went down. I'm glad you realized that. That's why I think my investments went down. This dude pushed his luck too far in this trial. It's already almost an hour along. And this dude is pushing his luck. We need more people in there. We need more people voicing their opinions, more than just this dude. There's probably one other person, maybe another. I don't know. We'll find out. Either way, I think this is why my investments went down, is because this dude kept pushing his fucking luck.
mean to
And it
dance
dragged
around
this trial
But
along.
if you look, I'm not.
But at the same time, he's also bringing up good points. He wants information. He wants, like, the government to prove why, if they're the proponent of this case or not. Like, these kinds of things are important to know. And I'm glad he's getting the judge to say that these things and this and this and that. I'm just saying that it's a good thing that he is asking the questions, but at the same time, it's also not a good thing.
Not a juggernaut. If the district court or the court of appeals
kind
tell
of
me
a
to do something, that's what I'm going to do.
Double-edged
But
sword.
ask yourself, is
Sucks.
that really what you want to do? It's like, even if you were to assume that every diabolical thought you had ever had about whatever the ex parte communication is, if there is one, let's say that you assumed that it was all true, that people all had notice of what it was. It's doubtful it would interfere with anything. And if people were going to be bad people, would they write it down in a memo so that everyone could read it? I mean, what do you? I
Did you
guess my
see this,
question would
dude?
be, do what's best for your client, but what are you chasing? Are you chasing a note that somebody wrote, said, I had an improper
watching
conversation
me?
with somebody else, and I wanted to put it in the memo in case someone wants to indict me?
Who's
So I guess
watching me?
there's always...
You can see the judge's body language become a bit more pronounced. He's running low on patience. Yeah, you're right. He is. I don't blame him. I am
as
too.
thoughtful as
This
your
dude's making me run
submissions
low on
are, There's
patience.
always a pragmatic part to what you're doing, Mr. Zorn, and I would just tell you, I'm
I
grateful
want
for
to
the heads
hear
up,
everyone else. I want to
and I'm
hear
grateful
some
for
actual
the
good
notice
people.
you've given me, but
If he's got a fucking expert on this shit, I want to hear the expert talk. Come on.
I think
Get him
before
out
we
of here.
proceed, it's probably worth giving it a thought. Like, what's going to end up?
He's
And the next time you might not get a
taking too
handsome guy
much
like me
time.
sitting up here. You just don't know.
No, I appreciate your honor's counsel. I think in that is simply we don't know what the scope of those communications are, and I think it's important to understand. I think that if you look at the rule very carefully, you look at the evidence that was submitted very carefully, it suggests that the ex parte communications could go beyond what was disclosed, or maybe not. Who knows? I think that's the purpose.
What are these communications he keeps talking about? Because now I'm wanting to know. Is it about marijuana or not?
Of that proceeding, I will not be asking that the district court for any relief whatsoever that should impact this. My only
don't even
point
know how to
is if
spell that.
if those communications do come out in that proceeding, and it is sort of revealed that the government or that they should have filed a memo, as Your Honor put in the APA for
It's a
expert.
trickier position.
Yes.
When that was triggered. And I specifically didn't make a finding on that. I think there's an argument in either way, and I thought that case would be decided without reaching that issue. But it's not that it was a frivolous argument on the part
Why
of the
is
proponents of that
he-
argument. I didn't treat it as such. They had a position as to where the reporting time started. I thought it was narrow, but I didn't need to reach it. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't a worthwhile issue on their part. It certainly was.
I don't think any of the papers on either side, and before when I didn't mean, I've attached the submission to disqualify in support of my allegation, so I think that was a good filing too, and I think the government filed a good opposition, but obviously that's a legal dispute, and again, if it comes out that it turns out that the government really should have put in a memorandum or should have complied with the APA in a way that it hasn't submitted to date, that's the only thing that I just want to give notice to Your Honor again of Your Honor has made findings, the government has taken a position. If it comes out that that position it turns out to be wrong, then we will have another can of worms but we can unpack it then.
We can, but you are giving me notice, Mr. Zorn, and I'm grateful. Thank you very much. I appreciate the work you put into these things.
Thank you.
Finally! Holy fuck.
And for victory. All right.
Did you
And
hear
for
that?
victory. Mr. Klein and Mr. Callan.
Oh, it's actually the dude's name. I was about to say, if he's saying some shit. Oh, shit. But no, it's the dude's name.
Who's lead counsel? I just need one of you.
That's a very good question, Judge. I guess I drew the short straw since I was here first.
Okay, if you could give me the appearances for both of you then, please.
Okay, Abdul Kalan and Andrew Klein for Hemp for Victory. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Hemp for victory. Okay. That's what they're saying. I thought it was M for victory, which I didn't understand why. No. Now I know.
We've heard you loud and clear. We will be available the week of the 13th, although our proposed witness is not available until after the 17th. So as long as someone else will step up to the plate that week, assuming the DEA's witness is not available, we can make that week work, Your Honor.
The week of the, tell me again. It always scares me when someone's heard me loud and clear.
Hot mic moment would have been epic. Yeah, exactly.
That I might not remember.
I'm glad you understand what I was trying to say. That would have been so epic. Holy fuck. It's really too bad. It really is. If it was a hot mic moment.
Remember what I said.
I think you said you were looking for mid-January, January the
Legendary
13th.
trial
Okay,
of the
just about then,
century.
within reason. I'm not looking to hurt anybody. But
We
yeah.
can make that work. Our witness is not available until after the 17th, I believe.
Okay. Your witness is not available until after the 17th. We can certainly work around that. Let me just take a note. All right. By the way, what I'll be doing is I'll be giving pre-hearing ruling afterwards, setting the approximate dates for everybody. My default setting is that everybody gets to put on their case. We've gone to an awful lot of trouble for people to be denied on their case based on a small matter. And I'm just looking to see here. Your position is you're not particularly looking for district court intervention now, but you reserve your rights to do so.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't want to disappoint you since Mr. Zorn and I are up here for so long, but I think that's all I have for you. I thank you for the care you put into your papers.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, the Commonwealth Project, I believe, is next. And represented by Ms. Fair. Hello, Ms. Fair.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Appearance, please.
Kelly Fair on behalf of the Commonwealth Project.
Address? Business address?
Business address
For the appearance?
is 1 Market Street, San Francisco, California,
Zip?
94119.
Great, thank you. I've looked at your availability. Okay, one of the things in your papers, it says that your witnesses are available after 2 p.m. As I think the line came from Mean Girls, that's not a thing. I'm gonna be doing enough here to get everybody on. I can't deal with who's after 2 o'clock, and I can't start at 2 o'clock because I've got security for a certain amount of time. So I'll work with the schedule. I was dying of curiosity, Ms. Fair.
Yes.
What's the deal with 2 o'clock? Is the person like babysitting or a part-time job in the morning? What's going on?
No, Mr. Kent is not babysitting, but it was a combination of professional and personal matters that just kind of rolled into we need to knock out mornings, and so we're hopeful that we could have our witness start in the afternoon. And I understand you have a lot to juggle. We will work with what we're given.
But I'll work with you.
And I will do the best I can to be
There might be
flexible as we
a
can.
day, like, if I assign a day, and for some reason it's just critical that he can't be there that day, we'll move the day around.
Okay.
Why don't we do that? But what that would mean is that I'd either have to put witnesses in the middle, and as everyone is probably assessed by now, I don't have the IQ for that. I need to do a
We have fucking technology. We have phones. I really, really wish we could just use these things for testimonials. Even for my testimonial when I had to show up for court a lot. For a lot of my court things. I really wish we could do that. Especially for giving statements or anything, really. I get it, they can be hacked, whatever. But at the same time, you guys have your own file transfer system. You guys can't bother to make your own online portal? I'm confused. Bro has never heard of Google Calendar. Like, no, but they heard of Slack.
witness do the opening, closing,
Can't
and be
bother
done with
to
the
use
witness.
Discord.
But if something comes up that's just undoable after I give you the pre-hearing ruling, then let me know.
I'll let you know, that's fair. And just to be clear, on January 13th through the 16th, I am not available.
Got that.
And so just want to make sure that we
Got
don't
that.
have to go
My
that day.
unavailability for you shows me January 13th through the 16th and February 3rd through the 7th.
Yes, sir.
I'll work around it, no problem.
Great.
Anything else for me?
Just a little point of clarification around written affidavits. Given the limitation on witnesses, we had 2 expert witnesses that would be quite probative to the issues that you're considering, but we didn't want to seek leave to ask for 2.
Is that a word? Probative? Just probative. Okay, that's actually a fucking word. Probative refers to evidence or information that is relative or tends to prove or disprove a fact in a legal case. Okay. She's good. That's all I know.
And instead put our medical expert in a written affidavit. Is there any clarification you can give around, I understand we have to use the Jeff systems to submit, but I was looking at the rules and it seemed to be that potentially they needed to be exchanged today at the pre-hearing conference.
No.
No, it'll be sometime
No.
before the homework date.
I appreciate the thought that you put into that. Here's what I don't want in everyone. I don't want someone to say, oh yeah, we'll call one witness and then give you like 37 affidavits and go read them. Seems to me you've got 2 expert witnesses that you think would be helpful. The regulations, I think it's 13, 16, maybe 59, say that affidavits are admissible, but they are entitled to diminished weight.
Correct.
2 doesn't seem awfully much. Why don't you submit them? Did you notice them as exhibits?
I did.
Then submit them and then we'll deal with them at the time. If they're unduly cumulative, then I'm probably gonna put them out if they're not material or relevant. But put them in like any other evidence. We'll look it over at the time. Okay.
Okay, and it's just one affidavit. We'll take Robert Kent live and then Dr. Bone. She's currently in a written affidavit. And I wanted to make sure that the court had the right people giving foundation to for the.
You know what? I retract my earlier statement. It's not one guy that fucked up my court or my investments. I think it's all these scheduling issues that affected my fucking investments. Boom. Drop the mic on that. Because there is no shot I didn't figure it out. That's why my investments went down. All these scheduling conflicts. Oh, we don't have Google Calendar. Yes, you're right. None of these fuckers have Google Calendar. Like, what the hell? I figured it out. I win. That's why my investments went down. And I'm not really winning. Okay, I'm losing. But yeah,
The studies, et
not by
cetera, and then
much.
we'll
I
take
haven't
note
even
to
lost a
make sure
dollar.
that
It's
we
going
focus
up
in
and
on
down,
what
which is
probative
weird.
and what you need to read, and no dump truck here.
I couldn't ask for more than that. That
None
sounds
of
fair.
these people have heard of
That's
it.
fair. And I
Makes
think
sense. See?
that is all I have for you. Anything for me?
No, that's it, Your Honor.
Not like
Thank you.
next motherfucker's coming up and they're gonna say, oh well, my expert didn't have it in the schedule. Oh, they have personal issues, they couldn't make it.
I'm
Like,
looking for Dr. Kirschenbaum. Thanks.
I'm gonna call it.
All right. Representative for Dr. Kirschenbaum. Good morning.
Your Honor, Rafe Peterson for Dr. Kirschenbaum.
Good morning, Mr. Peterson. And let me see what I have for you.
My
Let's
office
hear it.
address is 800 17th Street, Northwest, Washington, D.C.
Okay.
It still
I'm
smells
just looking
good.
through my notes. Thank you for your thoughtful papers.
But it
Availability
tastes
is going
so
to be an
bad.
issue for us because we were the 8th through the 12th, and it sounds like we're starting a little bit after that.
Second. Your availability. By the way, if anyone needs to call their witness by VTC, just let me know by the homework date. I can accommodate that. I'm just looking for your availability that you put on
Page
page
17,
17.
I think,
Oh,
Your
I've
Honor.
got it. I've got a note. All right. You've given me a good amount of availability. What do you think the issue is?
I said that there's no issue. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I said ours was 8th through the 12th. He wasn't available, and I think those dates aren't on the table, so
Oh, but you've certainly given me enough dates that I can work around.
great.
That sounds fine. I think that is all I have for you. You calling him in person? I'm just wondering, is he gonna be by VTC?
Yes, he's going to come in person.
Okay, sounds fine.
Technically, I'm right. Technically, I'm not. Your Honor, it's my mother-in-law's childhood friend's cousin's birthday. I can't make it that day. If you're not gonna show up, don't bother. What assholes?
That's all I have. Anything for me?
No? Thank
right.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
But that's rich
Village
people,
Farms?
you're right.
Counsel for Village Farms, please.
You're right.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shane Pennington and Tristan Kavanaugh for Village Farms International and Corp.
Okay, firm address?
Porter Wright, Morris, and Arthur. Let's see, I'd have to look at my card to figure out what
Could
the,
it be 9132 Strata Place, Suite 301
that sounds like it.
in Naples, Florida, 34108? I just got lucky. I just looked down and there it was.
I'm glad you had it there, Your Honor.
Yeah, me too. Let's see. You have, like, no availability hardly. It's not available,
That better be a mistake.
for a lot of January.
I had a family trip planned with flights booked before any of this kicked off.
So my sense is that you're not willing to invite any of us.
You fucking called
on
it.
this
You're all
family trip.
you're all welcome.
I think you were very brave to come in here with everybody working so hard and a date set in the Federal Register to come in and see
No,
your.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna turn on chat for this. They need to see this. They need to see this legendary fucking moment of a chatter. You fucking called this one. You called it, man. Oh my god. Instead of birthday, in his scenario, it's a vacation. But you called it. You fucking called it. What do you mean, what the hell is that? I'm saying you called it. You won.
You're going on vacation.
Legendary
Well,
moment.
Your Honor, if whatever dates you set, will be here.
All right, I will try and work it out. It looks to me like you're not available the 8th through the 15th, the 24th through the 26th. Well, inasmuch as the 26th looks like a Sunday to me, I think that's okay. Yeah, you've given me enough that I can work.
And I was right as well. Nah, I'm talking about the guy. Oh, what do you mean? Did he do something I didn't see? What did he do? Where do I have to go back to? Oh, I think FedEx is here. It's alright. Why does everything has to stop because he's not available? Exactly. Like, dude.
work with. I will try and work something out in there, and I hope you have a nice trip. And I think
Hope you have a nice trip.
that might be all I have for you. Let me just check one note. Do you have a sense of exactly what the area that you're going to be offering Dr. Harlow in as an expert witness?
There's a bit of a delay between me sending messages and them showing up in your chat. Cheap viewers on? What's going on? Oh, are you... Bro... I'm a bit too high for this shit, I'm gonna be honest. I hit the pen a bit too much. Either way. Nah, bro, if you're like accusing me of botting viewers or whatever, nah. I just started this stream. I seen the DEA live stream. It says right here. They're holding a rescheduling hearing on marijuana and shit. Like, nah. Yeah, I'm sorry there's a delay. I think it's because of my internet. I'm not sure. I don't know how. Do you have low latency player on? That could be the issue. You gotta go in like the top in your settings and make sure that's on. If that's not on, then that might be the reason why. That's supposed to help you get a more live player. But also, it might not work that well because of my internet. I don't know. I don't know. I think I have it on. Hold on. I don't know. I think it's on by default since I'm a stream manager. I don't know. I don't know how Twitch works. I don't know how live streaming works in general. I just do it for fun. So, either way, let's continue the video.
I wouldn't want to limit myself to it right now without, being able to write it up for you or present it at the merits hearing. But in general, we intend to present him on the abuse potential factor and on currently accepted medical use.
All right. Anyone bring an expert? That's fine. Anybody bring an expert? Remember, before you get going in your short opening, let me know who you.
It's all good. The delay was there from the start. I was just explaining why some of my comments are out of sync. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Yeah.
What you're offering the person as an expert in, if it's not in your papers. And I think that's all I have for you. Mr. Payne, anything for me?
I did have one question, Your Honor. I totally respect the conclusion with respect to the government being the proponent of the rule, and wanted to make sure that I understood that your point there is that, look, they could change positions, they could make up their mind, they could, they're going to be a cheerleader for one side or the other. And I respect that. I guess my concern is that if I understand your orders, the right of particular parties to cross-examine witnesses hinges on what side the witness is on, if it's a cheerleader for this side or that side. And so I just wanted to get clarification that to the extent that the government and their witnesses want to put on evidence that's contrary to, our view of the world, that we would have access to cross-examination.
You won't, because there's no other way to do this. Anybody who is on the pro side gets to examine the anti-side, and the anti-side for the pro side.
It's just a dogfight, yeah.
It's like anything else. I don't know what the government's case is going to be, but I can't have the proponents and the anti-proponents on each side, like trying to do a better job or outdo each other. I understand your motivation, and you filed a very thoughtful paper, and I'm grateful. But the way that it must be is that you can cross-examine the person with the opposite position than you.
And if the government takes that position, we can cross-examine them? Or
No.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't, because think of the way the record would look if everyone on each side didn't like the job that each of you did. Now, I know that you're all divided here on the bride side and the groom side, but let's say that somebody on the groom side says, well, I can get more out
Wow.
of this witness than that. The record would be a mess. The person who sponsored the witness might say, well, that's not why I brought him here. I object to my own witness. There's no way to make it work. My advice
That's
to you
true.
is you understand all the issues. I even know that in reading your stuff. But do the best job you can with what you have. And
Okay.
anything beyond that is going to be argument.
Right, okay,
that
I
you're
have
gonna
no
bring-
desire to argue with
No,
you,
no,
Your
no.
Honor.
I meant argument at the conclusion of the witness.
I understand, okay, gotcha.
No, I didn't anticipate that you and I were going to argue with each other.
No.
But
Ooh.
that's going to be as good as it gets. And look, you made your concerns very eloquently. I understand them. I'm not seeing any basis for them yet. And if I were to
That sucks. That doesn't make any sense. So no matter what, the government witnesses can never be cross-examined. Yeah. You know what? You put a clown emoji, but I'm gonna admit this right now. Court stuff is a clown world. It is. No matter what, in the end, I don't think anyone wins. It's just hard. Like, the judges always don't have enough time to go through all the evidence all together. And then guess what? It gets to the cold case point, and then the person goes in jail forever, and then only after years and years of deliberation on the case, it finally gets decided on. Like, come on. I guess the society really decides how cases go. And when we start riots and things like that, eventually our voices get heard and things happen. What do you know?
follow something like a tabloid magazine to say who thinks what, you all wouldn't get a fair hearing. It has to be restricted to what's here. Now, if you have an argument to make, everyone will have a chance for
F
that
in
brief
chat.
after you present your witness. Bring it to my attention.
What happened?
I wish I had a better answer for you, Mr. Pennington.
Okay, thank you very much for that, thank you for addressing it. I did have one other thing.
Sure.
I understood you to say, look, motions practice is complete, and I want to respect what you say. And I wanted to highlight that there are some things that you haven't yet addressed, whether intentionally or not, and I just wanted to get clarification about whether you want to address them. I know in Hemp for Victory's pre-hearing notice, they raised the prospect of needing discovery to make sure that the proceedings are transparent with respect to the scope of the ex parte communications. I heard your colloquy with Mr. Zorn on that. I just want to make sure you're denying any request for discovery, any request for a deposition, anything like that. You don't want to hear it? Or could
Well,
we put that in
let's-
on paper for you?
Let's talk about it for a moment.
Okay.
There's been a significant amount of case law on this.
Mm-hmm.
And the agency's seminal case on it is a case called SciCheck. And while we're talking, if I can come up with the site, I will. And if I can't, I'll just put it in the pre-hearing ruling.
Okay.
The agency's point of view is
Cold case and everyone loses was a good point. It's the pay after respect meme. To be fair, I am very not streamer lingo. I need to learn streamer lingo. I do. Especially if I want to do it. But who knows? Listen, if things turn out good in the end, I have no choice in the end. I have a big plan, And my plans, I'm gonna make videos on YouTube about, I'm gonna make a whole series about. This is a promise I can guarantee. And if y'all watched the Netflix special about Roaring Kitty, you'll know what the journey I'm going to take. It's just gonna be like his, but I'm not gonna follow his diamond hand strategy. Once I get enough, that's it. I'm moving on. And I'm going to take everyone with me. It's a journey, and that's what it should be. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. I don't know streamer lingo, but I know investor lingo. And oh, I think I fixed it somehow. Okay, we're back. Either way, I can't wait, and I'm gonna have fun. But it all determines on this. It all determines on this. Not this in particular. It determines on the final outcome, really, but this is a factor, a little factor. It will make my investments go down, then kind of sucks. Either way, I still got the, too much knowledge. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. Either way, let's
That
get this. Oh, I
the administrative
fucking,
law judge has
how'd
no
I do
authority
this? There we
to
go. Guess if you press spacebar,
issue
it disables that.
orders
What?
for discovery. Now, there is some authority for the issuance of a subpoena. I can issue subpoenas, they're enforceable in the district court. But before anyone goes and gets their pens and starts writing, because they said, that nice old man said he'll give me a subpoena, what I would direct your attention to is 21 CFR 131652 sub D, which says that I can sign and issue subpoenas to compel the attendance of witness in the production of documents and materials. And here's the kicker: to the extent necessary to conduct administrative hearings pending before me. So it is a very narrow sense of it.
He's gonna subpoena this dude? Holy shit!
And the case law has
There's
not
no
been
way, there's no
particularly
way.
favorable. Another case that I will put into the pre-hearing ruling for you is a case called Miami Lucan. And what happened with Miami Lucan is that the agency protested about a subpoena. The judge, a very nice, wise old man, said, well, I think this is fair and it's narrow. And in the side check case that I just referenced you, the agency made it very clear that you have all these other tools, including subpoenas. And the APA said that the ability to issue subpoenas is one of the enumerated authorities to the ALJ. And in this wise old judge's view, if it went on to just be judged on appeal, then what you'd be doing is testing it for prejudice, and there would be no way that anybody could test it for prejudice, which really gave the government a complete veto
Right.
over any exhibit, anything you'd like to subpoena. So then the Sixth Circuit got it. And what the Sixth Circuit said
Yap,
well,
come on.
it's all really
Get to it.
interlocutory. I'll include the citations for everything in the pre-hearing ruling. But you see, even if you did get the relief, if one side of the litigation equation has the opportunity to veto it, not that I'm questioning the Sixth Circuit at all, then you'd have to wonder if it's illusory relief. So, when you say I don't want to hear it, and I know you meant it in a good way, but I don't have authority to issue orders for discovery. So I think that you will find it an unsatisfying enterprise. Does that make sense? And that, it's not that I don't want
No.
to hear anything. I'll read and answer anything I get. I think that everyone's had a lot of chance for motions, and what I did is I tried to answer them as quickly as I could, and I put on my thinking cap for all of them. If somebody is dying for something, I know I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but I'm unlikely to just reject it out of hand. So that's a long answer to a short question, Mr. Pennington. Did that do the trick?
I really appreciate your answer. I hesitate to flood you when I know that you are doing, you're working frankly at an impressive clip, even
you.
by busy lawyer standards. And so I don't want to put things in front of you that you don't want to see. I guess I heard you loud and clear about, the subpoena power. I guess that I read 5 USC 556C and the authority that you have to take and have taken depositions, and then 131652H, which incorporates the express powers from 556 and then gives those to you as well.
Yes, and if you, by the way, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's even worse, because if you read the AG manual,
I have, yes.
right, but relative to that section, it says that these are enumerated authorities that can't be curtailed by
That's
the
what
agency, and yet,
That's why I'm a little bit confused.
you're probably not confused.
Okay. Well, okay, one last thing, and then I'll sit down. I just want to.
Don't worry, you're not wasting
I want you to
time.
understand my project here, right? It's your project. It's to have a transparent hearing and a complete record.
Yeah.
And whatever, we don't know what the outcome's going to be. We don't even know what the evidence is going to be. We don't even know who's making what case at this point. So I'm trying to grapple with that and make sure that this is a formal rulemaking process. We're supposed to have, a record at the end of it that somebody can do something with, even if it's on review and it's deferential standards. I mean, like you said, we got to work with what we
Well,
can.
Loper Bright is milling around out there too.
Do you have an antidote for the substantial evidence standard, which is also fairly deferential if we don't get this done right this time?
Well, I will tell you this, that Loper Bright that I just mentioned has to do with what deference they give the standards the agencies have put on. And no one really knows what that means in this context. In general, the agency drives with an
Of course.
I would just, that's not true with every agency. This agency generally will drive within its lane, and it'll give, even if the courts eventually don't like something that they did, they won't just announce it. They'll generally, in their final orders, they'll explain why they did something so that you can get less of a Chevron analysis to it that would be required some places. Is it rational? And something less than that. I would say the substantial evidence standard, it doesn't affect me because, as you know, mine is a preponderance of the evidence at the
Right.
hearing, oddly enough. And then the standard for review at the Court of Appeals from the final order is substantial evidence. But it has to be based on the record, and it's quite clear as to what those things are. The other part of it is that the kind of discovery you're talking about in the fulsome record, that has much more to do with a contested enforcement case.
Right.
I think there is a case that I will also put into the pre-hearing ruling. It's called McClellan v. Andrus, a DC Circuit case that says a denial of a discovery request is actionable to the extent that it causes a due process violation.
Right.
Now, here's the tricky part about that. The Court of Appeals said that, and the agency even acknowledged that in a case, but it gives me no more authority to order it. So to the extent the agency doesn't give you the discovery that would keep it above the level of due process, it does so at its own risk.
Right.
Now, I didn't write all this stuff. Somebody else did. But that is what McClellan v. Andrews says, and it's still good law. No one can touch it.
Right.
So you might want to start with asking the agency for it, whatever it wants.
Right.
Again, there's a certain amount of self-loathing in me telling you this, but I'm unlikely to throw anything you give me into the waste paper bin. I mean, I'll read it, but everybody's had a pretty fulsome opportunity to file motions.
You heard that, right? The judge is cooking him alive. Holy shit. He might as well go straight to hell.
So there's the best answer I can give you.
Really appreciate it. We're trying to do the same. We're working, just so that it's clear, Village Farms is operating in the sort of same decision tree analysis that Mr. Zorn is, and hear you about, like, look, go to the Court of Appeals, get a stay, then we all have to wait around. We won't have this handsome chief administrative law judge.
Exactly my point, and I'm hoping my wife is watching this thing on TV.
And so that calculus, I think, from our perspective, comes down to, okay, well, can we build a record that will allow us to have meaningful judicial review at the end, or can we not? And what tools
You left out an option. The other option is, although the subpoena power is tested for prejudice, McClellan v. Andrus is not. Your third option, obviously I'm not going to practice law for anybody, but I would say there's a third option, right? If you didn't get enough and you find some way to sort it out, that it reaches a due process violation, which in a case that's not an enforcement action, I think you've got a tough row to hoe.
Agree.
I think that, but that is your third option. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't want you to think you only had two options.
No, I appreciate that. And yeah, we're just trying to figure out that calculus, and I guess that we'll decide what we want to put in front of the agency, but we understand your position is that you just don't have, I mean, we could put it in front of you, but
You're so right. He is not mincing his words. He wants to send this dude to hell.
view of the law based on the precedent and what will be in the order after this is.
I don't know if he
look,
cares if he shows up.
I don't have authority to give you discovery. If you want to take that to the agency, go ahead.
Yes, but
Okay.
as I said, I'm unlikely to just not answer something. As a matter of fact, I have a handsome little block that I use of all the reasons that the agency has told me I don't have discovery authority. They feel quite emphatic about the issue. can
I
assure
believe you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Pennington, thank you for all the work you put into this. I appreciate it. All right. National Cannabis. All right, National Cannabis Industry Association, please.
National Cannabis.
Morning, Your Honor.
Welcome. Appearance, please.
Nicholas
don't know.
Scagliotti, Fox Rothschild, on behalf of the National Cannabis Industry Association, of co-counsel Khurshid Koja behind me from Greenbridge Corporate Counsel.
And
My address is 49 Market Street, Morristown, New Jersey. And I have Mr. Koja's address right here,
thank you.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2350, Sacramento, California.
Thank you. And welcome.
And we're, we are, just to be clear, in favor of the proposed rule, but subject to our limited objection, which we put in our notice.
You did. Cleverly put, too. It was, if I may say, a fine bit of lawyering.
We wanted to, thank you.
It was.
Mr. Koja was driving force behind that.
Would you have admitted that if he-
I'm just here for jokes.
Would you have admitted if he wasn't here?
Well, it's
Maybe I judged him too early.
I'm sorry.
Would you have admitted that if he wasn't here staring at you?
You
I saw
know,
him fold his arms.
I probably would have taken credit, yeah. But
Well done. No one goes to law school to be a nicer person. All right. Now, couple of things. One is that I note that you helpfully provided some cases and some statutes. You can cite any.
I was right the whole time, no shot. You were right, the dude on the left is the stenographer, not the lady in the front of the judge. So, do you know what she's doing now? Do you know what she is or what she's doing there? Since you figured that out? Dude. Now I want to know. I'm very curious. Why is she there? This makes me more curious. Let's keep going until you tell me.
Anything you want. Just so that everyone knows, you don't need to give me cases or statutes. Even at my advanced age, I can find them, but that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for them.
Understood.
But anything you cite, I'm happy to read. They're not going to be admitted as evidence, but you can certainly rely on them. And I'm grateful that I don't have to look them up. So thank you for that. Affidavit of Jennifer Mitchell.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me why, under 131659, it wouldn't be unduly cumulative. Tell me about that.
Well, our.
You're not on the spot. I'm not going to suppress it. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's what my concern was.
Right. I mean, obviously, we have the limited objection. That's what Mr. Johnson would be addressing. But as a proponent of the rule, we still wanted to make sure that there would be an opportunity to be heard so that we can talk about the acceptable medical use and how the potential for abuse.
She's the
is
court
less than
clerk.
some of the Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 drugs. So
If you know my history with court clerks, she manages all the paperwork. There's this one court clerk I hated, man. I'm just glad I got her to laugh before I finally did better. You know what? Maybe I hated her, but it's probably a good thing that I hated her so much that I never wanted to see her again and come back there. So, like, it just convinced me not to continue my behavior. So, in the end, I never got a, like, actual adult record. It stayed in my juvie record. Just a dumb kid doing dumb shit. And in the end, I became better. So, I'm happy with that, but I hated her. And ever since then, it's just a stigma with them. Because the second I step in a courtroom, I know the first person, other than the judge, that's going to speak is her. I'm surprised this one hasn't spoken. I would want to be in this courtroom where she doesn't speak. That's great. Do your work. That's fine. Don't talk to me. I would much rather the judge go harder. Not like that.
we wanted to make sure that, we were being
A silver lining.
because we are have our limited objection, but we still are in favor that I guess we wanted two bites of the apple there and have a second person to make it clear that we are a proponent and that we fully support all of the arguments for the rescheduling, but we also aren't in favor of what we.
No. I just got the notification. Honestly, anything they release isn't going to be good, so that's fine. I'm not going to pay attention to it.
On looping in some other cannabinoids into Schedule 1.
That sounds fair enough. So your position is that you'd like to support that position, and the way to do the least amount of harm is to do it through an affidavit, since the greatest harm is the definitional change.
Correct.
All right. Again, I have to compliment you. Very lawyer-like argument. Look, the briefs were all good. I'm very grateful to everybody for the work they put in. But it was good to read something that was thoughtful, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. And just to be clear, we want to move expeditiously. Our members are looking forward to having cannabis hopefully rescheduled to Schedule 3. And
my man,
we do not want to have any unnecessary delays, and we want to proceed
Yes.
in expeditious fashion. We will make ourselves available
Mhm.
for, other than the dates that we put in our notice that our witness was not available, we will make ourselves available at your honor's requests, and we will be here looking forward to moving the process
right.
as quickly as possible.
The unavailability that I have for you is January 30th through 2/7 and 2/14 through 2/17?
That's correct.
All right, I think I can work around that.
Okay.
I think not a problem. Let me just take one look.
Finally! Someone that doesn't have a fucking scheduling issue! The king!
If I have anything else for you.
Only thing is their witness. That's fine. That's to be expected. The witness can't always be there. They're probably a family member. They got family and stuff. They're probably a stay-at-home mom, for Christ's sakes.
Anything else can
Or
wait
dad.
Okay.
till you show up for the hearing. Anything else for me?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
I
All
got
right,
kids to
thank
take
you.
care
Thank you
of.
very
So
much.
I can't always be there. And the witnesses are not exactly, depending on the cases, not always of it, like, comfortable being there. So, but for this case, I don't see why they
All
wouldn't
right
be.
then.
Other than the
Veterans
stigma.
Initiative 22.
If they still have that very
Council for
old
Veterans Initiative
traditionalist
22.
stigma in their family. Like, oh, hey, you support marijuana?
Yes, good morning,
you support
Judge.
The devil.
My name is Cheryl Murray Powell Esquire. I'm with Dumar Allsworth et al., based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 1177 South.
She's a Florida woman, all
Fort
right.
Lauderdale, Florida.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm joined by Sean Hauser as well as Timothy Swain.
That's what I'm talking about. We make ourselves available is much more professional. Fuck yes. I'm glad you caught that too. I'm glad you caught that he said that. I kinda caught it, but I just forgot it. I'm glad you caught it. You're right. Very fucking professional. That's how you know someone's actually interested in the case as well. Someone actually wants to be there. To deliberate on this, to get it rescheduled to Schedule 3. This is something I believe in. In fact, you know what? I'm going to look their company up later. I'm going to come back here, I'm going to look their company up, and I'm going to invest in it. I'm going to invest in it. If it's on the NASDAQ or whatever, I'm going to invest in it.
From Vicente LLP.
That's a fucking
Them and
company
their
I can
team,
get
they were
behind.
the primary drafters of our submission.
So I should blame them if there's a problem?
No,
Wait,
it was a team
hold
effort.
on, let's go back.
Of our Vicente LLP. Them and their team, they were the primary drafters of our submission.
So I should blame them if there's a problem?
No, it was a team effort.
Okay.
It was a team effort, and along with our witness, who is the executive director of Veterans Initiative 22, and she's also has her master's degree from the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy.
But at least I've been right about this woman this entire time. The county clerk really doesn't want to fucking be there. They don't. They don't. Look at her facial cues the entire time. They're the devils in the courtroom. You know what? I'm gonna say it. That's what they are. They're the fucking devils in the courtroom. They don't want to be there. They're doing all the hard work. They hate it. I'm just saying.
See.
And who are your two co-counsel? I know you identified them. If you could raise your hand.
Yeah, so Timothy Swain
All right. Mr.
and
Swain.
also Sean Hauser.
Sitting on the wrong side of the aisle.
Couldn't get them next to each other, huh?
Couple of questions.
Sure.
Not many. The thing that I was concerned about,
Sure.
this whole massive affidavit thing, it seems to me proposed exhibits 22 through 30
Yes.
seem like a massive affidavits, which is not really what I'm doing. If there's one or two affidavits,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy to suck it up. But if you could look at them, why don't we limit it to a smaller amount within your discretion, if you could?
That's completely reasonable. The rationale behind the affidavits is really to make sure that we are representing the varied interests of the veteran constituent community that we support. When you look at the veteran population, it's a very unique, very much harmed population due to their service, but also extenuating
bring up a good point.
circumstances upon their return. So these affidavits, in part, were to demonstrate not only the harm that was done based on the diversity of veterans that we support. Some have disparate harm based on ethnicity, black and brown veterans who had additional
She's
harm
right.
because of their ethnicity. Some were faith-based users of cannabis prior to their service, such as our Hindu and Rastafari veterans that serve. So not only were their religious freedoms violated, but also their United Nations cultural protections. And also, there's a lot of veterans who suffered dishonorable discharge just because of their cannabis use. So we wanted to provide some color to those distinctions that make our veteran community very unique with regards to the harm, which drives the indication, which drives the medical necessity, acceptable
Exactly.
medical use, and medical benefit.
Preach, woman, preach.
What I would urge you to do, there's
Please, Judge.
tons commendable about what you do, even to the title of the reason that
Please.
your organization exists.
Have
Thank you,
heart.
Judge.
I mean it. Even the number 22 is just remarkable to think about it. But what I would urge you to do, is when you're looking at the affidavits, and I'll count on you to pare them down, look at it as to something that will help me one way or another to move the needle on the issues that I've got. I've got a fairly narrow issue. Two things, as I've told everybody before, I don't have an opinion about marijuana. Tons of people think it's good and tons of people think that it's bad. Everybody has to get used to the idea that however strongly held your beliefs are, and I get used to this every day, I have someone reviewing what I do, you could be wrong. Like anybody, any of us could be wrong. That's not an indictment on the person's point of view as to whether marijuana is good or bad. But it won't enter into this determination. I just have to decide a fairly narrow amount of things. So when you're looking at your affidavits, since I've already told you I'm sympathetic to your mission, it's not about determining whether it's good or bad. It's whether something's going to move my needle one way or another. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That's fair and reasonable. I think the causation ties that we were trying to demonstrate with our filing, it seems like you've recognized those, and we can really narrow our focus to the medical acceptable medical uses, as well as our the addiction related misrepresentation as far as the scheduling of Schedule 1 currently.
I couldn't ask for more than that. Thanks. Let me take a look. See if anything
Okay.
else. I already mentioned this though, that under 1360.
Bro, this guy has big brain. He's like, you read the affidavits and just give me the important stuff. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking too. Because that's what they need. They need the important stuff to actually make a ruling. They can't just take word on everything. That's true. Witness testimony isn't the final call in every case, in every legal matter. It's the evidence. It's the important stuff. Like, yeah. So, that is the final factor. That's what he's looking for. That's what he wants the people to give him.
1659 of the regulations, their affidavits are entitled to diminished weight, but it's
Lawyers,
not really a
yeah.
contested issue. Like, it's not like facts going against each other. Let me take one look. I think that's all all I have for you. Do you have anything for me?
Yeah, based on the
Awkward.
need to reduce the number of affidavits, is there opportunity at this point for an expert witness, or would that be not consistent with your instructions?
Well, I wouldn't like any surprises. I don't even like them on my birthday. What I would say is you've given affidavits. Well, look, an expert can always help, but I would say that what I would ask you to do is to take a look at the affidavits you have available. Pare them down for me, and I will carefully consider them, just based on the pool that you currently have, because there are people that are going to go after you at that podium. And if I were to say, yeah, give me more of them, that's what I'm going to get. So here's what I would ask you to do. You've noticed evidence. The government's going to notice all of those by the homework date. Take a look and see which ones move the needle. Re-edit them if you want. I mean, do whatever you can do, but keep them at a reasonable number so I can read it and depend on it to go your way. If that's what I'm looking to do, if that's where the evidence is. No matter what, no matter which way I go, let me tell both sides, I'll deal with all the evidence. I mean, if it's contrary to the way I'm finding or for the way I'm finding, I mean, all of you get to have your say and to have your evidence considered. But that's the advice that I would give you. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. You have our commitment to narrow down our affidavits to items that are most relevant. Thank you
Thanks.
so
And
much, Judge.
Re-edit them if you need to. I don't have them yet. All right?
Okay, sounds great. Thank
Sure.
you so
Thank
much,
you.
Judge.
Okay. It's not the worst outcome, but I understand.
All right. Cannabis Bioscience International Holdings, please.
That sounds like something I could invest in. But I wouldn't want international.
Hello, Mr. Picasso.
Hello, Your Honor. Thank you.
Would you please give me your name and your business address? I know you're not an attorney. You're here representing your Cannabis Bioscience International Holdings.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, thank you for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Dante Picasso. I'm the director of Cannabis Bioscience International Holdings.
Director?
I'm not an attorney, so I'm a little nervous. I apologize.
Don't apologize for not being an attorney.
No one wants to be.
There's no one in this room that at some point in his or her life didn't wish they weren't an attorney. Just imagine if you could never win an argument at home. That's what it's like. So, thanks. Did you give me your business address?
Really?
1625 Main Street, Houston, Texas.
All right, thank you.
Because that's what I would want to be an attorney for.
Look, you didn't give me a pre-hearing statement. And I asked everybody for a pre-hearing statement.
To use
to the extent
lingo
that
the
you
person wouldn't understand.
meant to, like, or if the dog ate your homework or something, I have a response to the preliminary order, but I had asked everybody for a pre-hearing statement.
I thought I sent it. Maybe, perhaps the format was not correct.
I don't know, but I don't have a pre-hearing statement for you.
I'm
Not to make you
But, yeah.
overly uncomfortable, I do want to make you a little uncomfortable. I needed a pre-hearing statement so that I could talk to you about your availabilities and.
Oh,
See,
I'm
most times
available at any time.
Right, but the time had already passed. See, I needed that pre-hearing statement. Look, there are things that I wish I had done, like buy Google stock, but I didn't. Let's do this. You're not represented by counsel, so I'm going to ask you some questions, but you're going to have to get me a pre-hearing statement by the homework date.
Absolutely,
All
absolutely.
right, and it's going to have to comply with the instructions that I gave everybody in the order for pre-hearing statements. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. If you were a lawyer, A, you'd be a lot more embarrassed, but B, it wouldn't go as well for you, I think. So let me ask you this. What is your availability? Are there any dates you're not available?
Oh, here's the
in
important
January and
question.
I will make myself available for any time that you decide that I need to be here, sir.
All right. See, let me ask you this. Are you calling yourself as a witness?
That's what I thought I was going to be, sir. Yes?
It can still be. So you don't have anyone to represent you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the stand, and I'll ask you some questions, presumably, and you'll tell me anything you want to tell me about this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What I really needed from you was a description of what you were going to say.
I did send it, Your Honor.
It was
Maybe,
one.
again, maybe the format was not legal, like, the
Well,
attorneys
you
have
sent
said.
me not to belabor it, nobody likes a person that does that, but you did send me general notice of appearance early on, but I needed a pre-hearing statement to tell me what evidence you wanted to put in, what you were going to say. So do me a
Your
favor.
Honor, I sent a 78-page document.
All right, I don't have a 78-page
my
document, or I
God.
wouldn't be torturing you. But let's do this. There will be no harm about it.
I-
If something happened to it, find it and send it to me again, and then I'll review it. Does that seem fair enough?
Absolutely. I apologize, but I did send it in. And again, I apologize. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I didn't use the proper format, but I did. It took me about 2-3
Well,
weeks to put it together.
I
And
would say this. By me not
Oh,
torturing you,
shit.
I'm saving myself from the horror that I'll feel when it's sitting on my desk when I go back in.
Their stock is dirt cheap. It's like 0.6. The market cap is just over 6 million, but it's an OTC stock. Fuck. That means I'd have to wait until tomorrow to purchase it. Fuck. Can you give me their stock badge so I can take a look at it later? I can probably find it, but just for reference so I can come back to it. I would really appreciate that. In fact, I probably invested in them. We'll find out if I get
So,
that badge
I
or
don't have it. It didn't come in.
icon, whatever
I've
the
got
fuck, symbol,
pretty good systems
whatever.
for getting what comes in on email or what comes in delivered. I've been doing this a minute or two, and I'm
I
pretty
actually
happy with my
printed it.
systems.
I have it with me.
That would be torturous. So why don't you do this? If you have an extra copy, what you can do is you can bring it to the hearing clerk window, which is right outside, and you can submit it there.
Okay.
Because if you were to give it to me now, then everyone would know that I was not
CBH.
I was not keeping.
CBIH. Hold on, I got Fidelity open. Face ID. Let's take a look. I got 12. I have not invested in them. You're right. Cannabis Bioscience International Holdings. Holy shit. Alright, you know what? Weed investments. I'm gonna put it on my watch list. Alright. I got her. That is awesome. But I can still place certain trade. I can place a limit order for them. Hold on. How much would 1,000 shares cost? 70 cents. I can execute the trade. It's 70 cents for 1,000 shares. That's insane. I'm gonna do it. Hold on. I'm literally investing in another. This would be my fucking. What is it? 13th stock I've invested in if it goes through tomorrow. Dude. 4,000 shares is $2.80. Are you saying I could get more? For less than $5 fucking dollars? Bro. $7 for 10,000 shares. So if that's the case, 7,000. Yeah, that would bring me to my total price. So I'd be able to get 7,000 shares. Let's do it. Right here. by 7. By. Order received. We got your order. 13th company I've invested in. Jesus Christ. I can't believe this. That stock is so cheap, man. I don't know why Nancy Pelosi ain't getting in on this. She's missing out on an opportunity. But then again, we never know. Either way, let's continue this. My bad. But I wanted to do that.
People of reading a 70-page document while I sat here. So
I couldn't
when we're
believe
done,
that.
there's a hearing clerk window outside. You could submit it there. Is that okay?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Again, 1,000 apologies. I don't know what happened.
Well, actually, that'll, if you can submit it there, we'll take a look at it. I'll give it a good read over. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Anything you want to ask me about, Mr. Picasso?
No, actually, I just want to say thank you. It is an immense pleasure experience for me to be here. Ms. Quinn Fox was just absolutely incredible in answering all my dumb questions, and somehow I'm here. I want to thank the Drug Enforcement Agency for considering our situation.
Fuck yeah.
The attorneys that are against the reclassifications and the ones that are pro-classification. This is an historical event, a beautiful situation, and thanks for everybody's cooperation.
Well, thank you very much. And Ms. Fox is quite brilliant.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. She's truly the brains of the operation. All right, then. We've done all the pros. We're going to hit the anti-side. The state of Nebraska.
Okay. And I was also wrong earlier when I said that there's only going to be like 2 or 3. There's been definitely more than that.
And smart approaches to marijuana.
I was wrong in my first statement. Just ignore my first statement at this point.
Good morning, Your Honor. Patrick Philbin from
My
Toradon
second
Law,
statement was right.
PLLC. I also have with me Chase Harrington
Whoa.
from Toradon Law for Smart Approaches to Marijuana.
Mark,
Our
what you
business
doing
address
here,
is
buddy?
301 17th Street, Northwest
Guess I'm wrong.
Washington, D.C.
Mark Zuckerberg would be here.
As I've said before, that was a very thoughtful piece of paper you put in.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I did the best I could with it, but sometimes that doesn't feel good on that side of it, but it was a very thoughtful piece of paper, and I was very grateful for it. A lot of thought went into it, a lot of good legal analysis went into it, and thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure.
Sure.
Now, getting back, I think I may have everything I need on both
You know the underlying
Nebraska
words
and Sam.
he
Let me
wants
just
to
a quick
say.
look.
By professional
Oh,
reasons.
you would ask for 150 minutes. One witness, I think 120 minutes would probably be enough to get.
Whoa.
That's fine, Your Honor.
If I'm,
That wasn't
if I-
on me,
I
that's
mean,
on the
look,
camera guy.
Whoever it is going to be able to finish their sentence.
Bro, just focus the camera.
But I think 2 hours is probably going to be fine.
Fucking do your job, man.
Do you have a sense of?
It's probably an autofocus.
The sense of
Who knows?
what's the specific area you're going to offer Dr. Madras as
Oh.
an expert in?
Well, it would be to address potential for
Stretch.
abuse, addiction, and also currently accepted medical use. I think will be the major focuses.
That sounds reasonable. Thank you. And
Are you gonna have a scheduling conflict too, man?
all right. I think free papers. That's everything I have. Anything you have for me?
No, Your Honor, thank you. But there is just a separate appearance for the state of Nebraska.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you were consolidated.
We are consolidating to just cut it down to the one witness for both of us, but the state is separately represented just so that they put their appearance on the record.
Sure, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Good morning, Your Honor. Zachary Villianco for the state of Nebraska. Sam has adequately represented our position, and we do intend to present jointly with Dr. Madras. I just wanted to stand up and say that I am here. I make my attendance known, and that's all that's going on here.
Thanks. Do you have any sense of who's going to handle the witness?
I think that's still being worked out.
fine.
I expect Sam will take the lead, but there's still discussions about that.
I don't need to know until you all stand up. I was just wondering. Do you have, and I know that you're a Deputy Solicitor General. Do you have an office address?
Sure.
Thanks.
2115 State Capitol, Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's 68509.
Thanks. Anything for me?
No, Your Honor.
Well, thank you very much. Okay.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. Mr.
The
Evans?
fuck are these names,
Mr. Evans,
man?
you're going to be a busy guy.
That's my privilege, Your Honor.
Well, thanks. Mine
And
too.
I'm going to enjoy appearing before you. You are a very thoughtful legal scholar, and I've learned a lot from you so far.
Look, I'm never going to stop you from all that.
No, I know. I understand.
And as a matter of
And I
fact,
think
if
you're
anyone else
good-looking.
thinks of anything positive during the entire proceedings that they'd
Right.
like to say,
Right, right.
that's a sure way not to get interrupted. Thank you for saying that, Mr.
Okay.
Evans. And I know that you are representing quite a bunch of them. Let's have your appearance, and if you could tell me, it's my understanding that you are representing the CADCA, first off, the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America, the Cannabis Industry Victims Educating Litigators, which is civil, the National Drug and Alcohol Screening Association, NDASA, also Dr. Finn and Dr. Drum. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So since I have you at the podium, if you could give me your appearance and office address, we'll go through and we'll deal with all of them.
Okay, my name is David G. Evans, and I am Senior Counsel of the Cannabis Industry Victims Educating Litigators.
Yeah, that's what
Our
I
office
said.
is at 203
This
Main
guy's
Street,
representing a
Suite
lot of
149
people.
in
Holy
Flemington,
shit.
New Jersey, 08822.
Thank you.
And I'm representing the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. So in the future, if I can just refer to them as CADCA.
That's fine.
Rather than having to lay that whole thing out. And civil would be my organization. And then I'll just say Dr. Finn and Dr. Drum. And then the National
going
Drug
through
and
the
Alcohol
list.
Screening Association, I'll call NDASA, just for
Uh-oh.
make it, I don't have to stand up and recite everybody's name. Okay.
Yo, I seen those lights.
I was just getting my equipment.
Getting your equipment.
All right. Let's see. Oh, one thing.
Does that include a gun?
This was one issue that we've had. Everybody gets column A or column B. If a person's represented, then everything has to come through their counsel.
Someone's getting arrested, that's
So I
fine.
get no surprises from clients. If we could talk to everybody about that, I would be grateful. It helps them, it helps you, it helps me. So if you could talk to, I think there's at least one of your clients that had a different point of view.
I think you're probably talking about Mr. Drum. I received a complaint from your office about him. and-
Complaint is strong.
Well,
I would say that's strong.
whenever I get any call from a court about a problem, I consider it a complaint that I have to deal with. I apologize for what happened.
No need.
He experienced a personal tragedy in his family. His sister was killed by somebody who was intoxicated with marijuana.
Sorry.
And he has a very strong emotional involvement in this. And he has now been straightened out, and that will never happen again.
Well, a lot of what happens is built on
yeah.
enthusiasm. No need to apologize whatsoever.
Right, okay.
No.
So do you have any other issues, Your
I
Honor?
do. One thing that confused me at first is that you've got I guess it's a little cover sheet that you use. That I understand its purpose when you're dealing with clients, but it mostly says, don't consider any of this legal advice and I don't recommend anybody. If you could, in future filings, if that could be omitted, it probably would help for the
Yeah.
record overall. I do appreciate that it's part of your office practice.
Yes, it is, because we frequently get calls from the victims of the marijuana.
Did he just
industry,
call him
people that
out?
have lost their children, committed suicide.
I appreciate that it's your office practice. to not give legal advice, to omit facts. Like, what? Hold on, wait. Go back. We need to go back on this.
Well, a lot of what happens is built on enthusiasm. No need to apologize whatsoever.
Right, okay.
There's no way he just called this dude out and his practice.
So do you have any other issues, Your
I
Honor?
do. If, one thing that confused me at first is that you've got a, I guess it's a little cover sheet that you use. That I understand its purpose when you're dealing with clients, but it mostly says, don't consider any of this legal advice and I don't recommend
I don't consider any of this legal advice.
anybody. If you could, don't consider any of this legal advice and I don't recommend anybody.
And I don't
If you
recommend
could,
anybody.
In future filings, if that could be omitted, it probably would help for the record overall. I do appreciate that it's part of your office practice.
Yes, it is, because we frequently get calls from the victims of the marijuana industry, people that have lost their children, committed suicides, had personal injuries, and we try to help them get an attorney in their state. So one of the things I say to them right off is...
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it kind of sounds like he was calling him out for his practice. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the way he said it right afterwards. I don't appreciate, none of this is legal facts, and fucking hell, I'm too high for this. Wow.
Practice in your state, you cannot consider this legal advice. And my malpractice insurance company tells me I have to say that. But I will delete it from any further...
It may not be a big issue. It was a little confusing when I first read it, saying, well, he doesn't stand behind anybody. Why is he here? But I understand it now.
We do stand behind the people that we take on as clients.
I appreciate that.
But that is
The
just because we
cover
deal with-
letter is for clients. He gave the judge a copy of that. Yeah, I know he said it was for clients. But you see how he said right at that it felt like he wasn't standing behind his words? Now we're going to see his response to this.
The variety of people at very different stages in their grief.
It's like a disclaimer for the clients, yeah. But at the same time, why are you hiring an attorney then? You're there for legal advice. And if they're telling you that it's not legal advice, this dude shouldn't be here then. He's a nobody.
Or in their deciding whether or not to get an attorney or not. I just don't want anybody to go in and say that David Evans gave me the following legal advice in a state in which I'm not.
So he's not an
licensed
attorney.
to
Okay.
practice law.
Sure. Well,
So
it took
I
me.
put that warning out.
Once I read a few of them, I got the drift of it. First, I
That's
thought you were
right,
telling
they're
me
a
something that
coalition.
I
I
don't
forgot.
believe any of this stuff. I'm just
Oh.
do it. Let's talk about Dr. Drum. I don't have any availability dates. Do you have them?
Yes, he provided them. Let me just see. It's
Yes,
at
I missed
9.
them. I thought.
He did something where he.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. It says January. It says
January,
availability
yes.
dates. I'm sorry. I had missed it because when I was looking for when I saw the puzzled look on your face, I knew that
Yeah,
it
the
must
judge
be operated on my
definitely
part.
meant
looks
a
like we've
bit
got
of
good
tongue in
availability
cheek
for him
smackdown.
in January and February.
Oh my
And did I
god.
hear you correctly, Honor, that people can testify virtually?
Yes,
So
and
because
I
he's from
think
California, that would be immensely helpful if he was able to do that.
based on several phone conversations with the chamber staff that I think he's had regarding availability, I thought that might be an issue, and yes, he certainly can.
Yeah.
Give me a piece of paper by the homework date, telling me telling me who you'd like to call virtually, and we will make the arrangements. We'll send him a link, and then he can testify on any of the dates that he
Yeah,
gave.
some of those conversations may have occurred before he asked me to represent him, so again, I apologize for that.
No need to apologize.
Okay.
Look, there's a lot of enthusiasm on every side going in, and he's not an attorney.
I think you will find him a very interesting witness. He really knows his stuff. And,
Well, I'm
he'll
looking
give you
forward
a
to
lot of
seeing
good
all of them.
information.
Let's see. Now I'm looking at, you've got good availability for NDASA. Just seeing if I have
I
anything
think there was a
else.
problem with Dr. Finney who's moving, but if he can testify virtually, I think that would probably resolve that issue.
That's right. He did tell us that there was a period that he would try and accommodate for us. I will leave that up to you. If he wants to testify virtually, if you both decide, that's fine.
That'd be great.
Let me know by the homework date, and we'll definitely
Okay.
sort that out.
So there is a virtual option. I'm glad that's available. I thought there wouldn't be that option. I was about to say, it's 2024. What the fuck, court?
Okay. Now he did send us a lot of attachments.
Attachments.
He did he likes attaching things, and I would just remind you of my comments that I made a date for everyone to submit them, and then put them.
Wonder
in.
how he
Also,
sent all
remember,
those
anything that you
attachments.
send me, that's
Google
gonna
has
be
like a
taken out
10
of some
megabit
witness
limit.
time that someone's going to have to explain to me why it's important, why I should rely on it, where it came from, that sort of thing.
This is a result of my ignorance about these types of proceedings. I have had evidence knocked out in trials before because I didn't give everybody everything in discovery. So, and it wasn't clear to me about when we were supposed to actually submit exhibits. So I just told them, look, better to err on the side of giving the information in. The original documents that we submitted to the DEA also is aimed at, really a scatter approach, hoping that something would stick and that they would be interested in, and that we might have to bring up later. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had everything.
I'm noticing it
on the
now.
record. But we will now narrow that down. I've listened very carefully to what you said about how to do that, and every single document, there'll be a proper foundation for the document.
Thanks. I don't need much. I need to know where it came from, why it's important, what the source was, why I should rely on it, and the areas that are relevant. I think you're representing the person who wrote a book and was going to give me the book. I'm grateful for all the people that you're representing too.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
And I think that's
Damn it.
everything I have, Mr. Evans. Anything
It's
for me?
gonna hope he's gonna
Yes,
do
Your
it
Honor,
more.
you said that you don't want opinions. Most of my testimony is going to be an attack on the DOJ Office of Legal Counsel legal justification for the change in this rule.
But you see, that's something telling me, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but let me put your mind at ease there. If there's expert testimony that I need to hear about why the standard is incorrect on a scientific level, then I need to hear that. But if someone says, well, the law is all wrong, or it's being misinterpreted, and I brought a lawyer to explain this to you because of your obvious limitations, that's something that I can't have. I do need the people that you've noticed. I have no problem with the witnesses you've noticed.
Well, the concern that I have is that what I did is an analysis. The thing about this being accepted as a medicine is really a two-step process. It has to be accepted
He hit the
as
mic
a medicine.
again.
But then there are a whole series of FDA rules about prescriptions, advertising, labeling, and so forth. There's no way that marijuana is going to be able to do that. And so I was calling that to the attention of the court, saying, look, even if you say it's a medicine under a Schedule III, it still has to be properly advertised under FDA rules, has to be properly labeled under FDA rules. There's also the new drug application process that wasn't complied with. All those things are going to have to
That's
take
the hope
place
with it
after,
getting
and in
rescheduled
order
to Schedule 3.
accommodate
There will be those
the
tests,
version that the DEA is proposing right now, it
and
doesn't
then
fit
they
into
can
any
be
of those
fully
rules. Nobody had addressed that issue.
Well, it
analyzed.
sounds like a fine thing to go into a brief that
It's
you
the
might
whole
file.
point. You're
Apparently,
missing the point,
the
man.
Office of Legal Counsel tells me that
Then we
nothing
would
to
get
worry
those
about.
labels.
Well, you should read my opinion. There's
Well, I'll
lots
read
of problems
everything
with it.
that everyone gives me.
Lots of problems with what they did. Well, and so do I take it then I can submit that argument as a pretrial brief or after testimony? When would I submit that
Everyone
argument?
gets a chance after their witness to submit a brief.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you are of the opinion that that there's a Kumo tire issue, then argue it in your brief.
Okay, I will do so, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'll read everything that someone sends me.
Great.
So I appreciate it, and thanhanks for all your work with those
Thank you,
consolidated
Honor.
plans.
And I appreciate your very thoughtful, intellectual response. It's a pleasure reading your opinions. It's
Well,
taught me a
thank you
great
for-
deal.
Thanks for saying that. No one takes this job because they write.
Oh, come on, man. It's already legal in so many states. What is this guy even talking about? Yeah, I know it's legal, but literally nobody died. Yeah, but to be fair, you gotta think about it. Idiots die because they do idiotic shit. So, listen. When it comes to driving a vehicle while under the influence of marijuana, I do believe that needs to be controlled heavily. No one should drive while under the influence of marijuana. Especially if they're fucking stoned. If they're stoned, especially, what the fuck? But that's the problem. We can't measure that. We can't measure when someone's stoned or when someone's taken one or two hits. You technically can, but it's not accurate. It's really not that accurate. They advertise it is, but no, it's not. It's not that accurate. We need better tests on that kind of stuff. And that's the problem. We can't really do that. There's no... In science, there is no actual 100%, especially when it comes to molecules and atoms and things like this. These are things that are very complicated. We don't have the full power on these. We don't have these kinds of abilities. And when it comes to testing for marijuana, what is marijuana? It is an atom. It's something that is atomized in your body, especially if you smoke these. These are atomizers. So you can't really test that. It's hard to test that. It really is hard to test that with 100% certainty with the technology we have now. It's just simple as that.
Write anything interesting. So
No, you're
thanks.
exquisitely thoughtful, and I appreciate that.
Well, I have found them very helpful in the issue of insomnia.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being so gracious. All right, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Counsel, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Reed Smith on behalf of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. I'm here with my colleague Jacob Durst. Our office address is P.O. Box.
Yes, if someone does stuff like drive, just go hard on it like we do with alcohol. Yep. If testing is not accurate, make the threshold 0. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Thank you. That's a good point. If the test is false, make it procedure to force a hospital visit. It's a small price to pay. Good point. That's fucking very good. I think we need to make that threshold 0. Because we do not have the current technology to measure the exact threshold. There is no way to give a threshold if we can't fucking measure it correctly. So, like, the threshold has to be 0 until we can actually develop the science for that. There's no science at our level that would correctly measure it. So, because otherwise we're just giving out numbers that we think they are the numbers, but do we? So, that's the problem.
620-207, Nashville, Tennessee, 37202.
Right. And I think we've got your issue, your welcome and good morning, I should say. Thank you for your thoughtful papers.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. I thought I had a question about your witness.
Ah.
I may have resolved myself. You're calling one witness, it's my understanding, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
One? Well, at least someone's alright.
And I think I did have an issue, but I sorted it out myself. The witness has good availability. Are you seeking to call him by VTC?
We very well may. That we didn't know it'd be available before today, and so we will have to discuss that with him first.
All right. Get me that information by the homework date, and I think your papers were very thorough. I don't think I have any questions. Obviously, he's a tricky witness because the question is he an expert on some of the things that you've got in your papers?
I think, Your Honor, at a very...
You know what? I didn't bring up this point. I want to bring this up. Because it also reflects on veterans, too. Guns. Do you guys know the United States Code, or whatever, that specifies with marijuana, you cannot have a gun in your possession. The gun has to be locked up. And I think you can't use the gun in 7 days. Like, you physically cannot touch that gun. Oh wait, I apologize. I think that's for a security officer. That's for a security officer. You cannot continue your job for like 7 days or whatever. Either way, guns and marijuana, you cannot have that together. Because, oh, you're gonna go kill someone. Bro. No. Here's the story. My uncle, every time we would go out hunting, I went out hunting with him one time. He said to me, no joke, you use the weed to call the deer. They like the smell of marijuana. So he'd always smoke a bowl in the blind. And we'd be holding a crossbow or a gun, I can't remember. It was a while ago, and to be fair, I was pretty fucking stoned. So, either way. It's just something you gotta know, man. Like, not everyone's using weed for killing people. They're using it to call the deer. Jeez. DNR officer walking by that day. If there was one. Holy shit. Felony. Yeah. It's a felony to have marijuana and a firearm in your possession. I hope they change that. Especially for hunters. If you're just hunting, man, you know what that hunter's trying to do. He's trying to call the deer. Maybe have a little fun while he's at it. I mean, he's got to sit there all day, too. So. Come on. I just had to say that, though.
Very minimum, he's an expert as to law enforcement tactics, and I think he uses some of that information in making decisions about how the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation enforces its laws, and can also speak firsthand to some of the harms that the state of Tennessee is experiencing
Let me tell you what my specific issue is, and you can look at this like I did with everyone else. He's talking about concentrations of sativa and things that he's found, and that could be true that he's, the sativa plant, sorry, cannabis, the concentrations that he's found, and I guess that very well may be true, and from a law enforcement perspective, that could be what the data is telling him, but without someone to tell me what that means, the difference between, I think, a very small percent, 19% to 99 or 98%, I guess what I'm wondering, and I'll let you think about this, is where do I put that in? Like where, let's say, the big question you ask yourself if you're sitting up here is always silently, like, or what? Like, or so what? And I'm not telling you, I'm not mean to put you on the spot for this
Hey,
now,
what's up?
but they're
Thanks
finding
a
that,
lot,
but
pal.
does that correlate to
How's it
the
going?
addiction potential or any of the things that I've got to think about? Do you have a thought about that?
Yes.
No, I'm with you. I'm just imagining the deer slowly walking towards a hunter asking for it. Oh, okay, that's a good. Puff puff pass, hunter, bro. Not too bad. What we watching? We watching the DEA hold a hearing on rescheduling marijuana. I just got done telling a good story. Oh, jeez. That's good, Ivy. I like that.
I do, Your Honor. First of all, one of the things that I read the notice of prospective rulemaking to ask for is what are the concentrations that they're finding, and it acknowledges itself.
Imagine me telling that story to this judge. As I said earlier, if you want a judge to laugh, tell them something stupid, and they will laugh. I show up to the hearing, or whatever, being like, all right, judge, let me tell you the story about why I believe marijuana and holding a gun while hunting should not be illegal. I tell them the story. I bet you everyone would laugh. And maybe get a good thought in that judge's mind that day. And he won't forget. He won't forget the story. He will not forget the story. He'll probably tell his wife that night, being like, so let me tell you, honey, there's this 23-year-old that showed up in my courtroom. Either way, I might be making it too big of an idea, but you get what I'm saying? You tell them something stupid, they won't forget. In fact, I bet that judge I made laugh and all those other people still haven't forgotten. If I go back to that courtroom and I walk in that day, I bet they'll remember me.
That the effects of such high concentrations are unknown. So even just the fact that we're finding concentrations that haven't been considered before are relevant for the consideration. And we also believe, to the extent that he's not capable himself to testify as to the effects of such high concentrations, that other
Mike
witnesses
Hitter.
may be able to
Third time.
who are against it would be able to testify as to the effects of such concentrations.
By the way, don't feel bad about the microphone. It's a brand new microphone because the last case, the lawyer standing right there knocked the top of it off. So you're not the first one to do it. But it is a new mic. All right. That sounds fine. We can deal with it at the time. And anything else for me?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police.
Oh, shit. An op is coming in. We got the ops.
Morning, Your Honor. Gene Volklin, International
Imagine
Association
who
of
they
Chiefs of
fighting
Police,
for.
44 Canal Center, Alexandria, Virginia, 22039.
Okay.
No, going back to the court clerk. Fine. No more.
And as I've disclosed to everybody before, my wife has an administrative position somewhere in IACP.
Yep, I'd make his wife laugh. I'd make his wife it. We good. He's gonna talk about it all night. I'd win this fucking courtroom. And I'd win marijuana for every fucking buddy. GG's. Put me in this fucking courtroom. I'll tell the judge my story. We win. All of us win. Judge is like, stop hitting the mic. Yes. He doesn't want it to break again. He'd have to buy another one. Well, the state would. Whatever. It come out of us taxpayers. Not us specifically. I live in Michigan. They all the way in Arizona or whatever. But you get my point.
But I know the answer to this, but you haven't discussed any of this, your position about any of it with her, right?
No, not at all, and your footnote came as quite the surprise to me.
I'd win it, though.
Well, she's very nice. When this is all
I'd
over,
win it.
Yep.
All right. I think my only question I have was, Mr. Bowling, are you going to be testifying yourself?
Yes.
He has no choice but to tell her the story. She's in an administrative position. Just tell me. I wouldn't get us the win. Tell me that one story wouldn't get us the win. It'd be laughter for everyone in them, and they know it. I'd win it.
So what'll happen is, we'll swear you in, put you on the stand. I may ask you some questions. Tell us what you want to tell us, what you need to tell us, and then you'll be subject to cross-examination and step down. That sound reasonable?
That sounds like the plan. I think we were going to come in and talk about the membership's view on the impact of this proposal and go from there. If necessary, we can find a counsel to question me if you would like, or if you're comfortable with that approach, we can do that as well.
I'm comfortable no matter what.
Okay.
You can. As a matter of fact, you're not there. There's another. The person who's going right after you, Mr. Trundle, I think, is doing the same thing. And your availability is good.
Hey, at least he doesn't have a scheduling conflict.
I can work with your availability. Anything for me?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. If we could have the Drug Enforcement Association of Federal Narcotics Agents.
We're getting all the ops in.
Trundle.
Retired special agent. Good morning,
Just
Your
so
Honor.
that everybody knows, we didn't have much interaction
My bad. A retired op.
when retired Special Agent Trundle was at the academy. That was the position that I knew him in. Other than me trying to arrange a date for my staff to tour the academy, which I don't think we ever sorted out, we didn't have any interaction. I know who Special Agent Trundle is, and that's not going to weigh either way in the weight that I give his testimony. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And could I please have your name and your office address, please?
Sure. My name is Greg Sharundalo. I'm representing the Drug Enforcement Association of Federal Narcotics Agents. Our business address is P.O. Box 2801, Aspen, Virginia, 20140.
That's a good business address.
Got,
Sorry,
Good availability.
20146, Your Honor. I apologize.
oh, all right, thank you. My sense is that, you would like to come and testify unrepresented, and, we may ask you some questions, you'll get cross-examination. And all the rules still apply to you. If you want to submit a brief or present an argument afterwards, you could do either one.
We may be represented by counsel, but we'll have that in before the homework date, Your Honor.
That'd be great, thank you. That's all I have for you. Anything for me?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe, as the beaver said as he backed into the buzzsaw, I have reached the end of my tale.
Damn.
Before
Not a hot mic moment.
we call it a day, is there anything that anyone would like to ask about the proceedings? Yeah, take the podium.
Okay, now we're at the Q&A part.
To victory, just a few questions. One, because I like to talk, the 90-minute limit that we have for our witnesses, you said we could also take 10 minutes ahead of time and 10 minutes afterwards to introduce the witness and then to summarize. Is that part of our 90 minutes or, okay?
I'm not going to be sitting up here with, they'll be assigned to clue you, but it's 10 minutes before, but 20 minutes of, I think I said that. 20 minutes
Semantics.
thereafter.
Okay.
I was trying to make it fair. Look, I want to hear from everybody. We can't, there's a 10-minute closing and a 2-minute opening, just tell me who it is. That's how it works, and 20 minutes across. But yeah, if you're in the middle of something, if you can, look, if you're saying something fascinating and I'm on the edge of my seat, I mean, you're ahead of the game. Not to be arbitrary about it, but I'm hardly going to cut somebody off mid-sentence.
Thank you, Judge. One last question, somewhat related. If we opt at the end to submit the 25-page brief, will the parties have a chance to respond
No,
to any of the briefs? Okay.
and it doesn't have to be 25, it could be less.
Thank you.
Sure. All right. Anybody else? Yes, Mr.
Get us
Picasso.
a good one. Come on.
You were brave to come back up to the podium.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Your Honor, in my case, so I have no problem retaining the services of an attorney, but in my case, if I didn't have an attorney, so am I just gonna come back and talk for 90 minutes as a witness? Is that what my function would be?
It doesn't have to be 90 minutes, it could be less.
Okay.
But what I would tell you is this. If you're represented, I'll need a notice of appearance from the person who's representing you. If you're not, this is a place to gather information. So you would take the witness stand, we would swear you in. I may ask you some questions. I would try not to get in your way. I would try and elicit the testimony from you that I can. And then you tell us anything that's important to you. If it's not particularly relevant to something that we're doing, I'll let you know. We'll move on to something else. And then at the end, you can either spend your time and tell me why you think it's important, or you can give me a brief afterwards. Write it down and tell me why your point of view should prevail. Does that make sense, Mr. Picasso?
Yes, Your Honor. And like, just to be crystal clear,
That's so true. 90 minutes per witness, that's so silly. It is. It is like the biggest fucking thing we could ever, like, have a court decision on. Reclassifying marijuana would change everything we know about the drug industry and our study of it. If we can study it and find out exactly what this thing does, how it helps you, what it does, then this could change everything. Maybe it's a helpful thing for depression or a helpful thing for PTSD with veterans. We need to study this and we don't have the studies for it, or they never published it because, oh, these studies are private. Reclassifying marijuana changes that. The studies can be public. We can know about it. They can study it. We can study it, even. Maybe we have to go through some college degrees or something, but we could. And it would be legal for that. There's no more, like, hiding these things. This could change the entire foundation of what we know about one thing. And not only this one thing, but it could lead to other things getting reclassified and therefore studied. This changes everything. Not only my bank account, but also history itself and how we reclassify things. This is huge.
So I want to be a patient. I swore myself that I would never use cannabis until it was legal. And I want to be a patient. I have some medical conditions. Is that something you would accept for me to be a patient, giving testimony as a witness?
I would be lying if I said I understood all of that, like how it would come in.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. If something is important for you to tell me, if it's not relevant in some way, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay? If you decide to be a patient, don't smoke any marijuana in here.
I may not be there physically, but damn it. But God damn it. There we go. But I'm still smoking it.
All right?
I swore to
I just
myself.
wanted to get out ahead of that.
No,
right?
no, I
Yeah.
just swore to myself that I would never touch marijuana until one day was legal.
Well, we'll take it all from the stand, because everything that's coming
Stick to the facts, man. Keep the personal stuff aside. Yeah.
in, I don't have any evidence. I didn't look at any evidence. We'll take it all as it comes. All right? Anything
Your
else?
Honor.
You're welcome. Anything else from anybody? Go on. Oh, yes. Mr. Zorn, I'd be
I
disappointed.
mean the guy talking, by the way. I thought you were talking to me, because to be fair, I did mention my bank account. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's true. I don't need to brag about that. It's not like I am. It doesn't have it much in it anyway. I can't brag much.
I was looking to see.
And I don't mean my actual personal bank account. I mean my Fidelity investment account. That's what I meant. For clarification, if I need to.
If
My
someone
lord.
would
Just-
stir you into motion.
Your Honor, just a couple quick logistical questions on the crossing. I would get a
This
little
guy
extra time, so
again.
representing 3 parties. Does that apply to cross as well?
I expect not. I think if you're pursuing something and it's going well, let me know. Like, can I just have this? The thing that takes the longest, though, and I'd ask everyone to spare me from this, if someone says just one more question, that's never.
Yeah,
That
true.
never works. It's never one more question.
I really hope I can fix my streaming setup. But I tried my best with what I have. Starlink just cuts in and out as on its own time. And so far, it's not too bad. It says I've only dropped 6,000 frames in this 3-hour live stream. Holy shit. Holy shit. I didn't even notice how long I've been streaming. I thought I've been streaming for 2 hours, not 3. Yeah, it's this guy again. Honestly, I want to skip this. I really just want to skip him and see if there's another person, because I bet he's going to drag this on. There's only 2 minutes anyway, so yeah, he is. You're just gonna drag it on for
But
2
Look,
minutes.
you're representing
Honestly,
a bunch
I'm
of things.
probably wasting
I'm
time.
likely to give you some latitude. But I think the structure works. Be focused in your questions. You're, if I may say so, you're a focused lawyer. Um, it's true.
Yeah.
So be focused in your cross. That's what I would ask from you.
Just one more question.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Is it possible to yield time or delegate a different member of the pro side to conduct the cross? For instance, if I can't be here for some reason, but would that be possible with prior notice to Your Honor of this attorney will take my time or so on and so forth?
The question isn't related to marijuana.
Well, the person representing the witness should, happens in it's important to everybody.
Honor.
Thank you very much. All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Well, look, I can't say it enough. Everybody put a lot of work into this papers. I know it's important to everybody. I will do the best I can. And having that said, I look forward to seeing you all. Probably, I would say you could anticipate mid-January. And to the extent when we take a recess, I think there is merit to consolidating. You're all here in one place. I would ask you to all find each other and see if any of that is possible. And since I won't see you before the holidays, have a nice holiday. We're off the record.
Okay. Mid-January is the apparently next trial or whatever, something. Wow. Holy shit. So what did we learn? The dude in the curly hair likes to waste time. We learned that. Holy. That was insane.
Is 21 CFR.
That was very insane. I really hope really, really, really hope marijuana gets legalized. Because not only would I be able to smoke it in any state I wanted, no matter what, in America, because if it's federally legalized, the states can't change that. It is a federal law. We could then study it and it would also change our export on it. So if we wanted Canada weed, I don't know why we would. Not trying to diss. I probably haven't had the best Canada weed. Then again, I don't buy top shelf. So, either way, our export for it would change. We could have Canada's weed coming in and it wouldn't be so regulated. That's the word, regulated. It's not going to be as regulated as it is right now. This would change everything. I'd take this judge over so many others. You know what? I'm wondering if I would too. Because, see, that's the thing. He said he has no opinion on marijuana. But that's the thing. That could be a double-edged sword. It could be not true, but it could be true. We don't know. Also, I've been looking at CBIH's balance sheet. It's a bit iffy. If you want to take a look at it, since you just put a limit order for tomorrow, not that it really matters much for now. If it explodes up, the upside is much higher. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's only, it's not even 7 cents. It's below 7 cents. I wouldn't be too upset if it goes to 0.1 or whatever. I only invested $4. I'm not going to be upset if I lose $4. The upside is bigger. I didn't invest nothing crazy like $100. Now that would be crazy. I'd probably get like 10 million of its stock. But I'm not going to go that crazy. I really won't do that. I've done that on the other ones. I do have one that I have $100 on, but I had to because I didn't get much of its stock because of it, unless I invested more. Because its stock price is high. It's like $10 per stock. Was expensive. So yeah, I don't got much of it, but I wanted to invest in it as well. Either way, my now total count is 13 companies I've invested in, and they all relate to marijuana, and they all are American only. There's only one that is not American only. That's fine, but I can't really confirm if it's not American only or not, so it's really difficult. I tried like looking into researching it more, but everything I ran into, one, they don't have a website, and two, they don't have a Google business page either, so it's like really hard to research. I mean, the guy that just talked, the director or whatever, seems like he really cares and also wants to smoke too. Yeah, that's a good point too. We didn't get like a fucking speaker of that business. We got a director. A director of the business has very high authority. They're either the top dog or they're under the top dog. So we got someone high up on the ladder showing up to this, and he's very interested in the outcome. I can't say that doesn't speak value. So hopefully his company's good, and if it gets legalized, it goes up. That would be awesome. It's like, and that's the thing. His stock is like investing in Dogecoin before Dogecoin became big. So technically I'm investing in crypto. But not really. It's not crypto, it's a stock. So it's not. I haven't signed up for Fidelity's crypto stuff. I didn't even go through it, so I would never be interested. But doesn't mean I don't disprove it. I just don't think it's very financially if you're wanting to look for something like this. This is what I would invest in. This is what I have invested into. And hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers, everything, it gets big. That's my main goal, and that was my financial plan from the start. That's why I made my YouTube videos. I didn't make many, but that is my financial goal on my YouTube channel as well. That was my whole plan. This is all my plan. And no matter what, my plan, I'm going to record it. If it goes bad, if it goes good, either way, we'll find out. We will find out. Something's going to happen. So, it's all gonna be recorded and everything. Whether I make $1 million, 500K, whether I make 2 million, or so on and so forth, whatever happens before everything, I will let everyone know. It's going to be a great time. It is going to be amazing. And I'm so glad I had the knowledge of this and I thought of this. I don't know what else more I can say, really. This was a great idea. This was the best idea. And I hope it goes to fruition. I need this win. And hopefully, if anyone else sees this live stream, and if they follow this strategy before it finally gets federally legalized, and you damn well should, or you're missing out, in my opinion. This is not like we're investing in crypto. This is not like we're investing in just one company. If you actually look, there is more than one. You can find them all if you look. You can just deviate all of it into it. And whether one or the other pops off, one of them will. Two of them might. Who knows, might be all of them. You never know. That's the thing. You divvy it up. And if you do that, you will see something. If not, it's not like you gotta invest nothing crazy either. I've only invested $600 and I'm able to invest in 13 different companies. I could have invested in more if I divvied it up right and, didn't invest in $100 in one. Either way, if you divvy it up right and you know what you're looking for, maybe I did divvy it up right. Who knows? You know what you're looking for and you did it right, you will win. There is a chance. If nothing else, it's 1 in 13. The odds? Do I need to give you the odds? I don't think I need to. So, do what you gotta do. That's my message. And hopefully we can all get in this together. Federal legalization is almost a guarantee by the end of 2025. I'm willing to bet on that. Well, then bet on it. That's what I'm teaching you. You can. And the best part is, you can do it all for free. You don't need to pay a monthly subscription like you do with Acorns and Stash. You can on those. That is your choice. If you want to do it all for free, open a Fidelity account. It is complicated a little bit, but you should use the mobile app if you want a more simplistic look at it. Use the mobile app and log into your Fidelity account you created. You can do it all for free. And you can sign up on your phone or your computer. I'd recommend your phone so you can take a picture of your license. But you can do it all for free, and it took me less than 5 minutes to set it up. So, best part, it's not like every other checking account where you have to send $5 to open the account. You can open an account completely for free. I'm not sponsored by Fidelity. I really am not. But it is what I'm using. 13 is my lucky number. Either way, it's if you really know what you want and if you really want to take the chance, I recommend Fidelity. I don't recommend Robinhood or all these other things, especially Robinhood because of what they did during GameStop. Fuck that. Why should a company control my funds? That's not fair. And last I checked, Fidelity gives out retiree payments, so. Or last I heard, rather. I think I trust that. hopefully, we win big. Because either way, it's not like I'm just investing in GameStop. GameStop was one stock. I'm investing in 13. Controlling all of that would get you the biggest hatred ever from anybody, including me. Robin Hood is shit. True. Hell, you don't gotta steal from the rich to get poor now. Now you can be poor and be rich if you know what you're doing. It's not, and that's the best part. I'm not investing a home loan just to get this. I'm not investing 10K. I'm investing $600. $600. I could invest more if I wanted to. Anyone can if they have the ability to. I don't have that ability, and I don't think most people do. That's what you gotta do. Gotta figure it out. Gotta look at these things. And if we really get marijuana federally legalized, us the people, because now it's in our hands too, we have to go up there on the Yeah, you're right, it did. What the fuck? Why'd it do that? I didn't even have to turn off my headset either. That is weird. As I was trying to say, before my audio dropped. Oh, my headphones are unplugged. It was only lasted 30 seconds or so, okay. As I was trying to say, I think I was saying. Oh gosh, I'm plugging my headphones in. I want to make sure they're plugged in before I say anything. It just sucks that this wasn't the final okay. That this wasn't like, oh hey, we're gonna legalize the marijuana. But no, it wasn't that. I was really hoping that was today. This is just a hearing. It was just like, oh hey, we're gonna do this and that. And then, yeah. Either way, this gives us more time, people. This gives us, the people, more time. If you invest now, you are not missing an opportunity. And you don't have to invest that much if you really think about it. There is a lot of companies, yes. You don't have to invest that much. It's your choice. That's the best part with Fidelity as well. It's all your choice. It's all up to you. You don't have to have someone do it for you. Either way, it's not like I'm hiding my investment strategy. I do have it on my website. So if anyone in here wants to see what I'm actually investing in, how I'm divvying up these funds, I do have that on my website. Keep in mind, I'm not a professional advisor, but you can do that if this is what you're looking into. That is your choice. What you want to do is up to you. You make the choice. You don't have to invest. You could, you don't have to. Either way, I'm investing, and we're going to see how this goes out for me. As I'm recording this, as I go live about these things, as I do whatever it is I do, as I upload to the website, whatever, I'm showing you what I do. I'm not hiding it. Although, to be fair, I think I do have to update the website. Hold on. Glitching.live. What did I actually... Yeah, WeChannel and my portfolio. When's the last time I updated this? Okay, not that long, but that was quite a while ago. I do need to update this. My bad. Listen, it's not automatic. I have to do this every time. I have to come on here and update this every time. And I have to edit the photos to hide my Fidelity account ID so people don't send me money, which people do. Don't ask me why. If they get your account numbers, that's all they need. They will send you money and attach some kind of note to it or whatever, saying like, oh, this or this or that. I had that happen on Cash App. I'm not happening on Fidelity. So anyways, I have to update this, and I will. I'm going to update this right after stream. Show the new investments that I've invested in. But yeah, it's on my website. It's under this category. The stuff I do / games. I thought that was the best category to put it under. But yeah. Alright. Oh cool, I still have this open. Okay. Well, either way, I think I'm gonna end this stream now. It was fun live streaming this. Fun going through the process. Loved hanging out with everyone that was here. You gotta set up Twitch subs on your account too. Huh? What do you mean? Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention I have a Discord server too. But I don't do much on it. As I should. I really need to get back on it. I did mention I was live and everything. Thought everything was cool. That was last time I went live though. Either way. I do know I need to set up things on Twitch like extensions and all that kind of stuff. I try, but I'm going to learn when like right now people can't sub to your channel Oh, that's cuz I'm not an affiliate. I'm not an affiliate yet. I don't have Twitch affiliate. I'm not a Twitch partner, nothing like that. I'm just your average dandy that doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. Even if I wanted to sign up for Twitch affiliate, I need to get some kind of stuff. In fact, how do I figure that out? Do I really want to show this on stream? I'm scared. It's not like I got money or nothing, but I don't know what could pop up. Like, I don't know if there's any numbers. Subs are paid. You get a share of the... Yeah, that's a part of the Twitch affiliate stuff. I don't have that. You don't Wait, what? I didn't know this. Honestly. I didn't know you didn't have to be a Twitch affiliate. What the fuck? No one told me this stuff. Oh. There we go. Now let's see. I'm learning things about streaming as I stream. Okay, so the path to affiliate. Wow, actually I'm almost there. It says I need to stream on 7 different days and average 3 viewers to be eligible. But I do not know how I can show this. Yeah, it's not going to show anything confidential. You might be wrong. Okay, that's fine if that's the case. But this is where I'm at so far. I don't know all this kind of stuff. I really don't. Oh, yeah, right here. All calculations exclude. So, yeah, you might be right. There might be a possibility I could do that. I'll have to figure it out another time. Either way, I'll go watch a YouTube video. Because the thing is, I set this up. So let me tell you how this was my plan. My plan was to stream from Twitch off a phone and be like a live Twitch YouTuber kind of dealio. Especially if I'm on this path. If I get like all kinds of money or whatever, then like I would want to show that, and I would want to show it live too if I have the opportunity. Cuz doing it live is different than someone just recording it on YouTube. So I'm not sure exactly how I would handle it, but I do know I would do like an Asmongold technique where he sends the videos from his live streams to an editor, and that editor would edit the videos. I could also edit them myself. I have editing experience, especially with Final Cut Pro, and I might do that. So I might just do it myself, in which case that would be cool. But my setup was to be a mobile streamer. I didn't initially intend to stream from a computer. That was not my intention. I did not want to do this. I don't like doing this. I don't like streaming off a computer because it shows way too much stuff, and I'm not that good of a streamer from a computer standpoint. But from a mobile standpoint, I could excel at it because I've done it before. I've done mobile streaming for years. I have prior knowledge and experience with it, and I know what I can do, how I set it up, things I need to do to become a mobile streamer if I want to. And yeah, I know, I'm not an affiliate yet, I'm not a partner yet, so I can't stream from mobile. That's not true. I know the way to do it, a workaround for that. And I think anyone does know how to do that. And no one wants to stream from Twitch itself anyways. So there's multiple opportunities and there's multiple ventures I can do. And that was my point. I didn't want to do any computer streaming. Sure, I might play some games. Why not? I might stream some games. I wouldn't want not to do that. Who doesn't want to stream some games and have fun with people live and talk to people about different strategies about a game, or like how the devs operate the game, or just different banter and stuff like that while you're playing the game? That I would love doing. I didn't intend to actually become like Asmongold or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. What the fuck? Asmongold does a good job at it as already. I don't need to be him. Oh jeez. But yeah, the more you learn. And I really hope I can start this journey, and it would be very soon. I hope it is before 2025, like you said. You said 2025. I hope it's before that. I know it might not be before that because we're coming up on the end of the year right now. But one can dream, please. 50 followers, 8 hours of a total stream. Stream on 7 days, average 3 viewers, and you'll figure it out. Okay. That's cool. Awesome. Can't wait. I would love to become an affiliate. Just become an affiliate as a mobile streamer would be awesome. Or a partner. Any of these things. Like, I don't think someone solely went mobile from these platforms and streamed from them. Some people might have. But they don't only do mobile streams. That's what I would want. I wouldn't want to do computer streams. I want to do mobile streams. Or I'm out and about doing things. I want to do that. Just a normal person living life, but recording it. But not exactly normal because I found an advantage and an exploit, so hey. I know one streamer like that. Really? Is there really a mobile streamer? Do you know who it is, maybe? I think the channel name is Hitch, if you want to check it out, but I'm not sure if he's still around. Yeah, you could be right. That's the thing about mobile streaming, it does die out. And I understand. I mean, yeah, I gotta think about that. I didn't really think about that. Damn it. Either way, at least we figured out what happens. It's just a hearing. It ain't nothing special. Yeah, it's just a carbon copy of this page here. Same thing, yeah, because it is the same page, really. Okay. He's actually still around. No way, that's cool. I'll check him out later then, that's for sure. Can you specify if he's on either YouTube or Twitch, though? If he's got both, that's dope as hell. I'm curious. I was gonna end stream, but I'm having too much fun talking to you. I know he's on Twitch. Okay. That's good. Then I'll definitely check it out. Not sure about YouTube. Oh, it doesn't hurt to... Oh, well. Just don't judge me on this. No, I'm not seeing it. Hitch, Twitch, streamer. Okay, so people upload clips of him. Best of Twitch streamers? Yo, this guy. I think I've seen him at some kind of event one time.
Do you see this? This is a knife. It's a plastic knife, but this is what you warn your children about on Halloween. A knife was inside, like, right where the filling is.
Yo.
Man,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
left
yeah,
turn-
yeah, yeah. He raided one of the football stadiums. Not raided, but like, thought he was the guy that went around with oil on him or whatever.
Just let fall. That's all I said.
Yeah.
先にこの人を降ろします。
I will kill this person first.
Okay?
Can you say that again? Can you?
Okay. I'm liking this guy already, though. I really do. This is the kind of thing I would do. I really hope. So here's my idea. Okay? Here's my secret. See, these guys, they don't record in 360 degrees. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. Okay? If I get an Instacam X4, it's a 360 camera, I could live stream with it. And it has like some kind of gyro thing, so if I wanted to, I could move it around. I'm hoping I can do that. I really want to use that camera, and I really hope I can live stream with it. I do know, um, I do know that you can connect a camera to your computer, and it would let you use that camera as a webcam, just like this function with my phone. So I'm hoping that applies to a phone as well. If you plug in a camera on a phone, it would let you use that camera as a camera instead. I know with this software I have, I can select a different camera. This software lets me. So I'm hoping it's the same logic with a phone. If you connect a camera to a phone, and it is a camera, could you use it as a camera device? I'm hoping you can. And if it works, I'd have a 360 camera while live streaming connected to a phone. I wouldn't need a big computer and have it on my back trying to live stream. I could just use a phone. And I could have hell, I have a carabiner clip in this connected to my phone. What's up? We can just do a little bit of, alright, I hold the camera now. What's up? You know what I'm saying? It's a good idea. It just sucks I couldn't live stream directly from the camera. I might be able to, but who knows? I probably have to get like a 4G dongle and then live stream with that. Everyone knows 4G ain't great. 5G is the next generation. 5G has the best quality. You live stream on 5G, it's the best for upload quality. That's the truth. Of course, you gotta be around a 5G area, but that's not hard nowadays. Not to mention, Elon's trying to make a satellite phone service. Might not be that great, considering how well my live streaming is. But my live streaming ain't that bad either. I've only dropped 8,000 frames in an almost 4-hour stream. That's a lot better than DSL internet. I remember when I was trying to stream off DSL internet, that number was a lot bigger. It's only 1% of my stream that is missing because of the dropped frames. That's not a bad number. It sucks. It could be better. Actually, the delay was on Twitch side. I figured out what was going on. Yo, wait, okay. Can you tell me? Can you tell me what you figured out? Because I'm curious. Because I have that issue when I'm watching Twitch streamers too. But maybe that's my internet. I don't know. Either way, tell me what you got. I had to leave the stream and come back again for future reference? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I did notice if I refreshed the page it would fix the problem. But it wouldn't fix it for long, unfortunately. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I do have a public call. I could do a public call from my Discord server while I'm live, but I don't know. I was thinking about ending anyway. Oh lord. Yeah, I'm still sick, unfortunately. I hate being sick. I'm getting better, but... Okay, I have to bounce now. I had a lot of fun. Thanks, I'll see you around. Hell yeah, it was nice having you in chat. It's nice talking to you. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end stream. Hopefully, things turn out better. And everything goes well. We'll find out. We'll find out for sure. Either way, it's fun hanging out with everyone. I'll see y'all later. Peace out, everyone.